They matter.
And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? What is going on, Flock Nation? That was tough. And B has it right there on the ticker. They embarrassed themselves again. Now, look, shout out to the Bills, right? They played disciplined football. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't turn the ball over, and that's all they needed to do. They didn't really have any explosive plays. They didn't do anything like spectacular. Well, no, they forced turnovers. That's the big thing. They forced turnovers and didn't turn the ball over, which is exactly what we needed to do. They actually ran the ball really well, controlled our defensive line, which is embarrassing. We're
Mm-hmm.
the bigger team. We're the number one rush defense all year. I mean, that's exactly why we're paying Matabike and Pierce, all 400 pounds of them, right? To go up there and stop those type of runs, and they bullied us.
Which is
On a,
why we said don't pay Matabika.
yeah, don't pay Matabike, don't pay Roquan, right? Like, this is why we say hashtag defund the defense over here, because that's not going to be discussed tomorrow, right? What the defense didn't do. That's nobody's going to talk about the defense, just like they didn't talk about the defense last year. It's going to be about Lamar. Lamar had two bad turnovers early on, and that hurt. Like, the fumble really hurt us because we were driving. We could have gotten some points out of that, and it led to points for them. That was a huge difference maker in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, he made up for it. He played really well in the second half. Guys to a touchdown within 2 points. Right play call, and a guy that's been dropping it the whole game. Your guy, right? Your tight end, your top two, not two tight end, Mark Andrews, after dropping two balls earlier in the game and then fumbling the ball earlier in the game, said, I got you. All right. I'm wide open. You put the ball right here. I can cradle it. I don't even have to make any adjustment. It's right there. Nah, I'll drop it. Let's go home now. Let's get out of here. It's cold.
I mean, look, the defense didn't play well to begin with. Lamar didn't play well to begin with.
No.
Obviously, like you said, he had the two early turnovers. The defense gave up touchdowns on 3 out of 4 possessions in the first half. The coaching staff didn't do a good job early. The play calls in the first half were awful. The play call on the first 2-point conversion was awful. And I didn't even really like the play call on the second 2-point conversion because why are you taking Derrick Henry out of the backfield? You're simplifying the game or the play for the Bills defense. But whatever. I mean, not all mistakes are equal, right? As we unfortunately had to discuss on an OT show, time is linear. It moves forward, and those early mistakes they were able to overcome those. They came out in the second half. They established the run, and they got things going. They got themselves back into the game. The defense made a few key stops. Lamar really turned it up on that last drive. He led them down the field. He scored the touchdown, and Mark Andrews said, "Not so fast, my friend."
Yeah.
And that's really kind of what it came down to at the end of the game. There, it was a pretty deflating loss for Ravens fans, but the reality is that Mark Andrews cannot be a Baltimore Raven anymore.
And shout out to my friend Shane, the Film Gorilla. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. All right, he puts out short films, dope films. So go subscribe over to him. He's a Eagles fan. He says would have been different game if the field conditions were dry.
They had the same conditions, though.
Same
Right.
conditions, and yes, maybe the ball slipped out a few times, but that's why they played more disciplined football. They understood we can't go out there and try to do anything too crazy. We just got to protect the ball, and they did. Lamar's fumble was a bad fumble. It was a bad snap and then a bad fumble.
Mm-hmm.
The interception looked like miscommunication, but Mark Andrews, that's why I put him on the thumbnail. We've been saying it for years that Mark Andrews isn't that guy. Good player, good tight end, happy to have him on the team, but he never shows up in the playoffs. Never.
Red said, like, don't start with this BS about the refs kept them in the game when you got a phantom defensive pass interference call to put you up 11 to begin with, like half hour. I'm not saying the refs cost Baltimore the game because they didn't, but don't start this BS about the refs keeping them in the game. Like, come on.
Yeah. That pass interference was an offensive pass interference, right? And that was going to be fourth down, right? We held you to a field goal. But look, Red Sand is a Bills fan, man. Look, congratulations to you. You guys won the game. All right. You should celebrate. That was a big win for you guys. I'm a Ravens fan over here, so I'm gonna vent. A lot of people that in the chat, they're gonna vent. Am I frozen? Oh no. Okay.
No.
I'm good. So, but yeah. Don't, we're not gonna talk about refs. Like, you guys had one penalty in the game? We're not gonna talk about that, man.
Yeah, I believe so.
You guys flopped a lot to try to get more flags. That's what you tried to do.
Are you gonna talk about the non-call on Lamar when he was 6 yards out of bounds, or was that just cool?
Yeah. But back to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews just isn't that guy, and even with the 2 playoff games he had this year, coming into the postseason hot, I still don't think he has 200 total yards.
No, he does in the playoffs. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He actually, I think, went over 300 with tonight's performance. He still has 0 touchdowns in the postseason. He ended up with 61 yards on 5 catches.
Yeah, 0 touchdowns. That's your guy.
Yeah,
0 touchdowns. God knows how many drops. I think he had 3, not even counting 2 or 3, not counting the 2-point conversion, which is the one that cost us the game. Right? You can make a lot of mistakes during a game. That happens in football, but when it comes down to the end of the game, down the stretch, you have to execute. We had a chance to tie the game right there, and the game's not over at that point. The Bills have an opportunity to go down and kick a field goal, but you don't get the 2-point conversion, and the game's definitely over. What did Red Sand say there? Would you put up on the screen?
No, he's just going on and on about how Keon Coleman grabbing Tre'Davious White and throwing him to the ground was an offensive pass interference.
I don't know what you're looking at.
Okay, all right. You need to calm down, Red. Like, you can't sit here and say that pushing the defender down is defensive pass interference.
Wait.
And pretend that somebody else doesn't know what they're talking about.
You guys won, and you're crying. Why are you crying, Red Sand? You've been in this stream many times. Like, first of all, watch your tone. You came to the wrong stream.
Oh no! This is correct though. Not by your choice. You need to get the fuck out. You're not gonna be like, you can come in here and you can talk your trash and you can celebrate and everything, but you're not gonna come in here and talk shit like that. You can go.
Why are you so mad? You guys won. You know, like I
have a couple
of
special guests here though.
Yeah.
Yo.
And that's not the Ravens fan over there. I just want you to know that's the Panthers fan that did that. Okay, what's going on, Ferris? What's going on, AD?
What's good, baby? What's good?
Well, not this game. Okay. Since me and AD are the Ravens fans, we're a little emotional. Let's get a perspective from a Giants fan. Ferris, how did you see that game?
That's the first time someone's ever said that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I know it was a close game. Lamar did have 2 bad turnovers early on, but the game was still tight. So those 2 turnovers really didn't I know you guys were down 11 at half, but you're down 11 at half. That's still not a crazy. It's not like you were down 40. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you could have come back. And then he didn't really mess up for the rest of the game. You know, so because he adjusted well and he took what the defense was giving him. In that third quarter, you guys ran it down their throats, punched them in their mouth. You know, and you guys, the tide was changing. And then, you know, you get the ball back. It's 24-19 at that point. Because that 2-point conversion, you know, I was watching Hendo and Yolanda stream earlier, and they were confused on what happened. They thought a flag happened or someone did a timeout. Lamar just threw the ball away because there was a miscommunication because you had one receiver was open, kind of, and then Isaiah Likely was wide open. So they're like, what the hell was Lamar doing? He messed up there. You can blame him for
I
that.
thought that one got tipped, the first 2-point conversion. I thought.
Did it? No.
By Matt Milano, yeah. He was throwing it to, I think it was Andrews, and Milano tipped it on the way.
Oh, well, good for Matt Milano. Well, I didn't see the tip.
I believe it was Milano. But
yeah. It didn't look like a tip ball because it still had zip. Like the ball still had zip. So like, I don't know about that, but sure. Yeah, your eyes are better than mine, Brodny. I'm the one who's going to eye therapy, so I'll defer to you, my good guy.
But there were two easier passes to make on that 2-point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So like that was his mistake.
Even easier play to hand the ball to Derrick Henry, but I mean
that too.
Todd don't believe.
But no, but here's the thing too. But the game was still close. It was still 24-19. It wasn't crazy. It was still close. You guys get the ball back because you stopped them, and then Mark Andrews messes up. It's 24-19. He gets that fumble. It's his fault. It's 110%. Like I'm sorry. Like the narrative is gonna be let's rip apart Lamar Jackson. We all know it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But because they're gonna point out the turnovers, like, oh, his fumble and his interception. Yeah, it was early in the game, but the game was still close because the Bills didn't really, take advantage of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the interception.
MVP can't turn the ball over. Yeah, but that too. Yes, you can. Multiple MVPs turn the ball over all the time. Tom Brady used to do that all the time.
No, what Bia's saying is that
he's responding to somebody in the chat.
I'm responding to somebody in the chat. You know what I mean? Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that.
But the game was still close. It was still close. And Mr. Mandrews over here, you can hate the play call as much as you want. It was still a pretty good play call. He was wide open. The ball was in his hands. It was a great play call. Because what's going to happen?
The play call was trash. It was trash.
No, I don't agree. That was a good play call.
Terrible.
It was a good play call. No, I still agree. No, I don't agree. He was
wide open.
He was wide open.
I don't care that he was wide open. He fumbled early in the game. He been choking ever since he been on the Ravens. Pretty much every playoff game, he's been a no-show. Why throw him the football when you got a 250-pound running back, a 300-pound fullback? They had no ability to stop the run. 16 carries for Derrick Henry. Again, say the same thing every time. Every time Derrick Henry had less than 20 carries, the Ravens lost. But somehow they want to give him the ball 16 times and then complain.
Because he's a professional. You have him on the team. You didn't cut him. You didn't trade him. He played well going into the playoffs. And yes, he had some bad drops during the game. He had a bad fumble during the game. But you expect a wide open player to catch the ball. I don't care what player it is. You expect them to catch the ball. That's literally your job.
You do expect them to catch the ball, but there does have to be some awareness of who you're throwing to in that situation and not drawing something up for them. Griffin Mullen Music saying Lamar is a bust. He will never win a ring. Thank you very much for the super chat. Very, very much don't agree. But that's fine.
You know what?
He's certainly not a bust. That's just false.
I expect
two-time league MVP is a bust. That's
I don't know.
That's for the $5 though.
I expect Clifford Franklin to catch the ball if he was wide open. All right. If anyone knows who Clifford Franklin is, he had drop issues in his career. You know what I mean? Then he finally figured it out.
But the question, Ferris, is not do you expect him to catch it? The question is, would you draw up the play for him?
No. I would have drew it up for Isaiah Likely, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Isaiah Likely's better
because he's a better player. And when you're saying, hey, we're talking about the play call, calling a play that you're expecting it to go to Mark Andrews isn't a great decision there. For one, because he has those tendencies, and for two, because you have, like Adrian said, Derrick Henry, who had been playing well, even Justice Hill, who had been running well.
Yes,
it's just it's probably not the best option.
And not only that was the second 2-point conversion. You throw it twice on the two, and it's the same play call that always fails. And this is my thing with the Ravens. Why do you get down there and try to outsmart people? It almost seems like, I hate to say it, y'all gonna be mad at me for saying this. This shit is fixed, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, and any Buffalo fans can say what they want. I'm only saying this because we lost the game. Yes, we lost the game. But I just look at the ways that we lose. We lose the same way every time. It's what we said in the stream on Wednesday. When have we lost a game where we didn't beat ourselves? 3 turnovers in a game, 2 drop 2-point conversions. That's how you end up losing a game. You don't lose a game because you're outplayed. You lose a game because you don't give Derrick Henry
Oh,
more than 20 carries.
hold on. They were outplayed. They did get outplayed.
Did we really get out?
Yes, they did. Buffalo's defense went out there and forced 3 turnovers. Buffalo shut down your offense in that first half and went up 21-10 on you. They absolutely outplayed. You can't take that away from Buffalo. They showed up. They heard all the talk from everybody, and they went out there to beat y'all's ass. Now, I mean, they didn't, it wasn't a beatdown, but they absolutely outplayed you.
Yeah. They should have ran the ball on the first 2-point conversion because that was the one where they literally ran like 10 times on that drive and they couldn't stop Derrick Henry. They should have ran it on that play. Like that's and then it would have tied the game 21-21. You know what I mean?
When I saw a 1-point spread in the favor of Ravens, I knew this was going to be some bullshit. They put the game on 6:30, primetime game. Everybody's watching. They need ratings. And 3 black quarterbacks already made it to the conference championship game. So gotta have your great white hope in there. He's there. Congratulations to Josh Allen and the Bills. Y'all did what y'all did. Let's see if y'all can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in Arrowhead next week.
I need a Bills Super Bowl like I need air, man, because I can't have this. You know what I mean? The other 3 teams, I can't do it.
You can't. Yeah.
I have an idea, Fast. I have an idea for you. Why don't you let that hate out your heart? Okay.
No.
Why don't you?
What do you have against the Chiefs?
Why don't you embrace just that they keep winning? Why don't you embrace Jaden Daniels as an incredible young player? Why don't you embrace Philadelphia? I mean, I know this one's more difficult for you. Why don't you embrace Philadelphia and what Saquon Barkley?
Let me tell you something, Brodny. Let me tell you something.
Still celebrate Saquon.
No, let me tell you something.
Shout out to Still Second to None. He says, was looking forward to playing y'all next week here in KC. Be prepared for the Lamar choke comments. They've already started.
They've already started.
They've already started.
Let me tell you something, Brodny. I would rather lather myself up in flour and dive into a deep fryer, all right, than ever root for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay,
you gotta
not happening.
You gotta let go of that, man.
It's not. I'm not letting it go.
Well, no. Well, he's a Giants fan. He shouldn't be rooting for either one of those teams. But the Chiefs.
I'm not saying you have to root for them. I'm just saying it can't be the worst day of your life because they win.
You know what? I just need the AFC to win. Period.
What's up, Alan? He said Jaden Daniels is the NFL's Obama.
See, I'm not a big fan of Obama either. See,
Well, look, man. Look, this is America. You got to have a white guy in the conference championship game. You putting a white guy in the office tomorrow in the Oval Office. You putting another one in the AFC championship game. They need. When they're gonna have. They're not going to have 4 black QBs there, bro. You know, when I saw the 3 there,
I'm like, conspiracies, man. Like, we can't do conspiracies.
I like me a good conspiracy, but I don't believe it.
That's all.
You saw it? Yeah. All right. So what about this? What about the game?
We can't sit here and make excuses for poor coaching every year in the playoffs with Lamar, right? Like Harbaugh, hey, shout out to Coach. I listened to his stream. He doesn't really put it on him, and I get it because when you have players dropping the ball, it's like, damn, man, you gotta catch the ball. But drop passes, turnovers, not forcing turnovers, not giving up touchdowns, penalties. Like they played bad all around. When everybody's playing bad, that's on coaching. You have to make plays at some point. The defense, and this is why I get on EDC, and it's funny because we just recorded a video where I gave EDC props for drafting Rosengarten, and I say, hey, look, when they make good moves, I gotta give them props. But this defense, we put a lot of money into the defense, and the talking point tomorrow is going to be Lamar choked. It's not going to say anything about this defense and how they didn't show up. The defenses that we try to be from back in the day, the 2000s defense, if they play like this, we'd be talking about the defense and how they didn't show up. We'd be talking about how Ray Lewis didn't show up, Ed Reed, Suggs, Nada, how they didn't make plays because that was expected. We don't ever expect anything from these defenses. Yeah, why do we keep putting the money into them then?
Yeah, but those offenses weren't turning the ball over 3 times on the road. Like the offense.
Yes, they were with Kyle Bowler. No. past Trent Dilfer.
That Kyle Bowler team wasn't winning. I'm talking about the teams that won. The teams that won, whether it be Trent Dilfer, whether it be the Joe Flacco team that won in 2012, those teams weren't turning the ball over 3 times on the road, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to win.
Right, but they still, but the defense still forced turnovers. They weren't turning the ball over. Sometimes they did, but at the end of the day, the defense would not give up the touchdown. It didn't matter what the situation was. If Trent Dilfer did throw an interception, which he did because he wasn't a good quarterback, the defense said, "All right, we'll get it right back." They're going to make sure, all right, turn the ball over, you'll get a field goal. You're in field goal range, but that's it. You're not getting across this goal line. This defense can't do that. I mean, they got manhandled at the line by the smaller team.
But what they give up in the second half? 3 points? 6 points?
They got 6 points in the second half.
They gave the team a chance to win. The team's
not good enough. No. It's not good enough.
Okay,
if one side is struggling,
I think it is good enough.
Have to make it's not good enough.
It's good enough to give up 27 points when you're supposed to be the top defense in the league.
That's a good point.
By that same token, 25 points is good enough. Right?
At some point, you have to make plays. At some point, this defense that has Madubuike, first team All Pro Roquan Smith, who was a no show, first team All Pro Marlon Humphrey, right? Second team All Pro Kyle Hamilton, right? We have all this money, all this talent. At some point, they have to make something happen. They have to force a fumble. They got to get an interception. They got to do something out there.
I mean, I get that, but they also held the presumptive or potentially MVP to 127 yards passing.
That's by design.
Yeah, they didn't hold him to that.
They didn't hold him to that. I mean, that's
they ran the ball. No, that's the thing. That's the thing about the ball. Yeah, because here's the thing about the Buffalo Bills. Because I remember last year the Bills sucked for early part of the season. They fired Ken Dorsey. Then they hired Joe Brady. And Joe Brady changes the offense because they started running the ball more because they realized we can't force this guy to throw 40 passes a game because when we did that, we were losing. So they ran with James Cook and they made Josh Allen a fullback basically. So they're a running team. So of course they don't pass the ball.
This is the other part of the coaching issue.
What's up, Antonio?
This is how are you on the 2-yard line with Henry and not get the touchdown? This is referring to the right after Lamar made the throw to Bateman, where he got tackled right on the 2 or 3 yard line. They ran the ball once, didn't get in, and then I believe threw it a couple times, didn't score, and ended up kicking a field goal. You line up and you run the ball 4 times and you get it in the end zone.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
Also, to the defense where the money is, because that's the thing. I think that's why Jose is a little mad at the defense because that's where all the money is.
Yes,
you put so much money on that side of the ball.
Defense.
Exactly, you put so much money on that side, and you're not doing anything. Because here's the thing too. Yeah, Josh may not have had great passing numbers. They couldn't stop him when he was running until that last drive.
My thing is the defense.
Because he ran straight at Michael Pierce.
The defense is where the money was. I get it, but this was the number 1 rated offense in the league. This was the 3rd highest scoring offense in the league. The offense has to score points in the red zone. You get down to the 2-yard line. Derrick Henry comes out of the game. I saw him with a coat on the sideline far too often in a game like this. 16 carries. You get him for these moments so he can have 25 rushes, so he can have 30 rushes. Why does James Cook have more carries in this game than Derrick Henry? When Derrick Henry is the best running back or second best running back in the NFL.
No, I agree. Hold on a second. I agree with you. I agree with you on that, right? You got to get him the ball. But we cannot say, but with the defense. That's where the money is spent, right? Roquan got a big contract. Madubuike got a big contract. Marcus Williams, who is a healthy scratch, got a big contract. $100 million contract, right? Like, we put a lot of money there. We put a lot of money on that side, and over the years, me and B are saying, bad move, put it in the offense. Like, Adrian, we argue with you about getting a wide receiver here. We talked about Tyreek Hill, and you were opposed to that because that is the mentality that we have here in Baltimore is, we don't want any flashy players on our offensive side. We can do okay with this over here, right? But then when guys can't make plays because we don't have that special player on offense, we're sitting here saying, well, why can't we get it done? And then we have no expectation on the defense where all the money is. There's no expectation for any of those guys to do anything special out there. Why the hell are we paying them? We can get just guys out there to do what they did tonight.
And the Lamar choke crowd, and he played like crap on all this stuff. Like that last drive, Zay Flowers is already out. Rashad Bateman gets hurt. There shouldn't be any expectation of scoring on that drive. Throwing to Tylan Wallace and Isaiah Likely, right?
Right.
But you got down the field and you got in the end zone, and then Mark Andrews happened.
It's true. Right? And it was a great pass to Isaiah Likely on that touchdown. Because he was coming, the defender was really close to him, but he had a tiny bit of separation. It needed to be a perfect pass right there, and he slid and caught it, man. It was a great pass.
Well, I feel like Lamar was...
And I agree with this, Tony. We needed to run more, for sure.
Yeah, but Lamar was playing hero ball. That turnover in the first half really hurt. The interception didn't hurt as much as the fumble because they picked up the fumble, and I think they got the ball on the 40-yard line and were able to punch it in and get 7. And points off of turnovers are always big in these games when you're talking about two teams that people thought were evenly matched. But when I saw the spread, a 1-point spread for a team we blew out by 25 in the regular season, I already knew that.
How's he playing hero ball? Like it was. We were talking about
because he should go down and protect the football, and as he was holding the ball like a loaf of bread in his right arm, he was probably going to get snapped right there.
Right, he jumped up, he tipped it to himself, he turns around, and he tried to make a guy miss.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about him making the guy miss or attempting to do that. I'm talking about once he was wrapped up, put 2 hands on the football right there.
But that was him trying to make the guy miss. That's when he dropped the ball. He wasn't playing hero ball.
It wasn't hero ball.
He just dropped the ball when he was trying to make the dude miss.
And you have to live by that when that's what he does he's been doing that for the team all season, including that game, right? The O-line we knew was going to be an issue at the beginning of the year, right? That's what EDC said. Next year, that's what he said about the O-line. Next year, they'll be up to speed. So it was expected that they were going to have issues with blocking, especially pass blocking this year. Now, they grew over the course of the season, especially in run blocking, but it was always expected that they were going to have their issues with pass protection, and Lamar will have to do things to create time back there. So no, that's not hero ball. That's by design.
Also, too, like someone pointed out, it was 7-7. It should have been Derrick Henry. Should have had like 40 carries. That goes back to a coaching issue.
40, 50 carries.
But you also it goes back to a coaching issue. In the first half, he was not running well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't gaining yards handing the ball to Derrick Henry in the first half. We got a super chat here from Shockwave Truth. John didn't have the team prepared, and this is what I wanted to go back. Thank you very much, Shockwave. Appreciate it. I want to go back to when we were talking about coaching, because there's a lot of people in the chat disagreeing that this has anything to do with John Harbaugh. Wasn't on him, and I understand that because there was some bad play calls, but the players didn't play well. The defense didn't play a full game. Lamar didn't play a full game. Derrick Henry didn't play a full game. Like nobody played well, really well in this game. But the reality is that when you watch the Baltimore Ravens, this is what you expect from them in the playoffs every single year. And that is on John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh never has them ready to go. They always look scared in these kind of games. And they typically lose the same way. Like even right now, with Derrick Henry getting 16 carries, I'm almost done. We're still saying, hey, they didn't run the ball enough, which is what we said last year, what we said the year before, what we said the year before, what we said the year before. It always looks exactly the same under John Harbaugh. That's why we say it is an overall coaching issue. Not that he went out there and did something specific in this particular game to cost them the game. It's just how the team is always prepared.
Hold on. Is Danity still in here? Danity, no. How do you know?
I didn't see her.
That don't mean she's not here.
That don't mean she's not here. Danity, are you in the chat?
Because let's point it out too. Like
one second here, Felipe. He's saying stop blaming Harbaugh. Let me ask you something, Felipe. When does a Harbaugh coached Baltimore Ravens team look good in the playoffs?
2012.
That's the last time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because even last week against the Steelers, they went to sleep in the third quarter. Last year against Houston, they were garbage the entire first half. When does a John Harbaugh coached Ravens team look good in the playoffs, Felipe?
No, because you think about it, like coming out of
wait. Before y'all get going, Danny, block this guy, Shungo Walker. Don't ever diss my friend. Antonio, that's a close friend of mine. Block him. Shungo Walker, you're out of here. All right, go ahead.
What I was going to point out is coming out of the halftime in the third quarter, you started running the ball more, and he saw the success. Literally, one drive was all Derrick Henry, and the success was there. You scored a touchdown. You didn't mess up the 2-point conversion, but you scored a touchdown. Keep running the ball.
I say this all the time. Run the football.
Because you see the success. Like even you see you would. So here's what's worse. They made the adjustment in the third quarter. You see them adjust. You're like, oh, there's the adjustment. It's coming. And then they say, you know what? Let's stop doing that.
Yeah, I thought the game was going to be over at that point. I was like, oh, they got the run game working. Clearly, they're not going to stop. And then they said, you know what? What happens if we stop? So
yeah, because I think that's why Ravens fans, Jose and Adrian, probably angry. They see the adjustment in the third quarter. You see it where that drive was literally all Derrick Henry, and you're like, oh, here's the adjustment, and then you just didn't stop.
Well, that's why he needs to be gone. He needs to be gone as a head coach of the Ravens.
Burnsley says, no, you can't keep running when your defense can't stop the Bills. They gave up 6 points to the Bills in the second half.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. You act like the Bills put up 35, 40 points in this game. Like, yeah, they scored 27?
27.
Literally, if Mark Andrews doesn't fumble the ball on that drive, they're probably going up.
Yeah, because it's only 24-19 at that point.
Yes.
And then they kick the field goal, go 27-19. If he doesn't fumble it, you're right. It's right there.
I want to ask the chat. I'm sorry. Finish your point, AJ. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Whoever just said that, you say that the Ravens were unable to stop the Bills. Like Jose said, they scored 6 points in the second half. Yeah, they had 21 in the half. We were unable to stop them then. I agree with that point. But they were not running up and down the field in the second half. We had the yards advantage. We had the time of possession advantage. We were scoring more than them in the second half. But that turnover is the difference in the game. You turn the ball over and you're down 5 and you're probably going to score the touchdown or at least, get in the field goal range right there. You have a good opportunity to win the football game. But when you turn it over, Buffalo gets the ball, comes back and goes up 8. Now you got to score a TD and a 2-point conversion because of the failed 2 earlier. So my thing is, I agree with the call early in the first half to go for 2. But when we didn't get it, that put us behind the 8 ball. And you saw that it forced us to have to go for 2, where we might have only had to kick an extra point to tie the game at the end if we had kicked the extra point in the first half.
Yeah, because it'll be 24-20, and then you kick it off, and then you're still kind of in the realm of it if after that. But still, man, you're still in it. We can pick and choose. You're still in it. It's still 24-19. And then the fumble happens with Mark Andrews, because you're driving and he just came out of watching a movie and was like, oh, I got butter on my hands. Cool. Boom. It's over, because your defense kept stopping them, like someone did point out that, he only had 20 yards rushing with Josh Allen. That's correct. But the threat of him, does hurt, but you guys stopped him. Mark Andrews cost you this game. It's plain and simple. Because someone pointed out they got no points off of the turnover or off of the interception. They got 0 points off of that. So that's meaningless. They get points off of the fumble in the first half. That hurt. But you're still in the game. You were still in the game, and Mark Andrews cost you the game.
Xavier Smith says, I get it. Harbaugh probably has ran his course, but do we really think a rookie head coach is getting us over the hump? Well, a couple things. One, you don't have to hire a rookie head coach.
Right.
Two, yeah, I do think that a better coach than John Harbaugh would get you over the hump. Look, you played against Houston last year in the playoffs, right? They had a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, and the best player on their defense is probably their rookie edge rusher in Will Anderson, right? and look how great they looked. What do you think DeMeco Ryans does with that Ravens defense plus Lamar Jackson? I think he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But like I said, you don't have to hire a rookie head coach anyway.
All right, real quick, we got 250 people in here, man. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah,
hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Hit the I think I set the goal here. I'm not sure how much time is left on the goal. 10 super chats. All right, you'll get our warmest thanks. All right, if we reach that goal, we'll give you thanks anyway.
Yeah, I want to point out Xavier's comment. He said, "Am I tripping? The defense didn't play bad. They didn't play bad in the second half. They only gave up 6 points. But you shouldn't be down 21-10 at halftime, even though you've given all that side of the ball the money. Nnamdi Madubuike got paid. Roquan Smith got paid. Marlon Humphrey. You drafted a rookie corner. Kyle Hamilton's there.
That's the other thing too. Yeah.
Marcus Williams wasn't there, but also got
Marcus Williams wasn't there, but Marcus Williams, I don't understand why.
Whoa, hold on a second.
Was he there?
What's up, Kim? And we got a subscriber, Dre Solid. Hey, thanks for thanks for subscribing. Kim says, "Is a new coach the answer for Lamar getting out of his head at crunch time?" What happened at crunch time, Kim?
Yeah, I don't.
Did
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did he not throw the touchdown to tie? And we got a super. We got a donation from KP. What did KP say?
Thank you very much, KP, for the donation. Let me pull up the comment right here.
All right, let me finish my point with Kim. Kim, he threw a touchdown. We need a 2-point conversion. He throws the perfect pass to the tight end to tie.
His hands.
Is that not playing well in crunch time? What did he do wrong in the second half?
And KP says LJ was bad in the first half, but turned up in the second half and did enough to win. But Mark Andrews was the biggest reason for this loss. I'm tired of hearing the Ravens are the only ones who can beat the Ravens. I might take next season off. It's been real.
I want to ask the chat this. I want to ask the chat because, expected people are going to say, hey, Lamar choked and whatnot. He didn't play well in the first half. Who played great? Nobody. Who do you guys think played good?
I think the defensive line of Buffalo played great. Are we talking both teams or just one team?
We talk about the Ravens. I think.
I just want to know. Yeah, I just want to know, Chad. Just tell me, Chad, who played well on the team?
I'm gonna say
for the Ravens.
I'm gonna say Justice Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Derrick Henry played well. He averaged 5 yards a carry.
For the limited carries that he got.
He also dropped a touchdown, didn't he?
Well, I mean that was a slightly underthrown pass. I mean, it
wasn't slightly underthrown. He should have caught it.
Yeah, he should have caught it. Granted, but
okay, let me amend the question a little bit. Who did we play well as a offensive unit?
No.
Did we play well as a defensive unit?
No.
Likely played great. I think Likely.
Okay. So if the answer is we didn't play well all around, whose fault is that? The coach. What's the coach's job?
To get everybody ready.
To have people ready. If it's one or two players, if everybody else is playing well and it's just Mark Andrews dropping the ball, then I can say, hey, man, like everybody else showed up. Mark Andrews didn't show up. Right? Or if it's just Lamar just didn't get out of his head like people are going to say tomorrow, even though he did step up in the second half. If he just had more turnovers in the second half, we can say, hey, Lamar let the team down. Everybody played poorly.
Well, Jose, I'm gonna say Bate played well. Like, I think he had 70 yards receiving, a touchdown. I would have liked to see him score on the one long touchdown.
I think we look at a couple of individuals, right? How many players? Like, I think Bateman. I agree. Bateman. I think Henry.
Likely.
Justice Hill.
I think Likely played really good.
He played okay, right?
Yeah,
he didn't get that many. He didn't get that many looks, but as a unit, you would agree that they didn't play particularly well, right?
And I remember a time because people were saying Bateman should have got more targets. Like they should have got more targets. They got 10 out of the 25 targets, and I remember a time when all we would hear after these games is Lamar has to stop forcing the ball to people. So I mean, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to distribute the ball to everybody out there, or do you want to say, hey, Bateman should just get targets regardless?
What more did you guys in the chat? I'm talking about. What more did you guys want Lamar to do in that second half? He made all the right throws, right? He didn't turn the ball over. He did what he needed to do to get them ahead. I just want to keep reminding that, right? 24-19, we're driving. Hits Mark Andrews wide open. That's on their side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And the DB punches the ball out. That's not Lamar's fault. End of the game. Drive down the field. Great pass to Likely.
Touchdown.
End zone. Touchdown. Go for 2. Drop the play for Andrews. Puts it right in his hand. Andrews doesn't have to make any spectacular catch. All he has to do is make just cradle it. And he drops it. He bobbles it and drops it.
Why is that drawing up for him now? This is what I do not understand. Like, he has been proven to fall short in these moments. Why do you bring Derrick Henry in? Why do you have Lamar Jackson to throw it to Mark Andrews in the corner of the end zone?
Goes back to the coaching issue, right? Goes back to the coaching issue. Let's say he dropped the same play and it's Isaiah Likely in there.
Yep.
And he catches it. You know what I mean? We're not talking about this. It goes back to coaching. The coach was like, I'm a win with Mark Andrews. You know, that's the guy I'm going to win with. You shouldn't have done that. Goes back to coaching. It keeps going back to John. It goes back to John. Everything we keep talking about, because that's a coaching issue. It keeps going back to John.
So Tony says, but in the playoffs, you have to start and finish the game. It's not next week. Now, and I'm not picking on you, Tony, no offense to you, but this is what people say just only when you lose the game. This is the only time people say this. Because when they played against Pat Mahomes, and Pat Mahomes didn't play particularly well, it was he did enough to win the game. He made the plays he needed to make to win the game. Same thing when they lost to Buffalo in a 17-3 game. That was an ugly game all the way through. It was made enough plays to win the game. Now, that's what it's going to be most of the time in the playoffs. You're playing the top teams in the league. You're not going to go out there and run through them like you're playing the Miami Dolphins.
Hold on a second.
Like, I can't say the Raiders because y'all lose to the Raiders. So that was my thinking there. But you're not gonna steamroll these teams when you start getting into the divisional round of the playoffs. That's not realistic. They have great offenses. They have great defenses.
Hold on, Tiffany Jackson. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate that. Says, just like plastering Mark Andrews' picture, talking about the thumbnail I put up there. Lamar messed up twice. Derek dropped catchable pass, etc. Shaking my head.
How many times did Andrews mess up?
Hold up. I don't care. I don't care if you like it. You clicked on the video. Oh, but he did choke. He did choke, and his drop lost us the game. He catches it. It's tied, right? And then we're talking about the defense choking down the stretch, right?
But Jose, but she's never gonna subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh
God. I guess we got to shut it down, guys.
Yeah, shut it down.
We gotta go home.
I mean, you're talking about what? He had at least 2 drops in this game and a fumble when we were driving to potentially take the lead. How is he not the lead? Because he's on a team with Lamar Jackson. So Lamar is going to be the story because he's the one that draws eyeballs. He's the one that gets attention.
Wait. Tiffany says, first time since 2019 for Mark Andrews. Can Lamar say that? First time for what? Scoring a touchdown? Because he's never done that in the playoffs.
This is his first lost fumble in 5 seasons, but he picks the most inopportune time to have his first lost fumble.
What about touchdowns?
He has 0.
I'm gonna say this again for the people who always seem to forget. Mark Andrews has 29 catches, 314 yards, and 0 touchdowns in his playoff career. That's 8 games. 8 games, he has 314 yards and 0 touchdowns. And I don't know the exact number, but several dropped touchdowns. Like, we can't keep doing this every year with Mark Andrews acting like, oh, it was just this game. It's not just this game. He has never performed in the playoffs.
And someone said, oh, my baby. Sorry. Someone said, who do you want to win with? Mark Andrews is one of our best players. Yeah, but it's been very clear that Isaiah Likely's been playing better than him all year. And he's been Lamar's favorite option most of the time. So why isn't Isaiah Likely in that case the tight end in that case? You know, I understand you could have just ran the ball with Derrick Henry. That's true. But, like, get out of there. You ran a pass play. You know?
Why you running?
One second. Anon says that Mark Andrews' stat is misleading. You need to actually catch the ball to potentially fumble it.
Yeah, that's another good point.
I mean, he made the catch, but then he fumbled. And my whole thing is 2-point conversions. You get the ball on the 2-yard line. If Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry can't run 2 yards, then you deserve to lose the game. I would much rather lose because they stopped us trying to run right there than a drop pass.
Absolutely, and that's why it is. You know, the blame does go all the way around. There's blame for Lamar. There's blame for the defense. There's blame for Mark Andrews. There's blame for the coaching staff. You cannot when you have the ball first and goal at the 2, and you have 2-point conversions, and you run the ball a total of once, I believe, in those 5 plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get the ball first and goal at the 2. You tell them line up and stop Derrick Henry 4 times. I dare you. And you know, and if you can do it, congrats to you. Period.
See?
Yeah, nobody would ever question that play calling if you give it to Derrick Henry 4 times and he gets stopped. Nobody would ever question that.
Goes back to a coaching issue right there. Goes back to coaching. It goes right back to John Harbaugh and Todd Monken. Goes right back, you know?
And it's not even, I don't even blame Monken as much as Harbaugh because Harbaugh is the head man. He hired Monken. It's a philosophy they have in 2-point conversions. And I think they were 1 for 5 on the season when they had the best rushing attack in the league. One of the best rushing attacks in league history is you're not going to run the football here. We're going to outsmart everybody. We're going to get cute. And this is always the MO of the Ravens. Let's try to outsmart everybody when we have the best rushing attack in the league. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't know how they can sit up there on a podium and act like that's sound decision making.
I want to read something real quick. This is 6 years of Mark Andrews in the playoffs. 7 games, 46 targets, 24 catches, 254 yards, no touchdowns. That's not counting. That's not counting tonight's game.
We went over his playoff stats. He's at 29 catches, 314, and zero touchdowns, and multiple drop touchdowns.
That's how much Travis Kelce gets in 2 playoff games. That's 6 years of Mark Andrews.
That's who you're defending. That's what you're mad because I put his picture on a thumbnail because he lost the game.
He's also a guy, I believe he had a touchdown in the last 6 regular season games this season. It was either the last 6 or last 7, and he doesn't show up in the playoffs. Yes, there's enough blame to go around for the entire team, for the entire coaching staff. But Mark Andrews is somebody that's going to be looked at as a scapegoat in this game. Of course, Lamar's going to get the most blame. He's the one that draws the ratings, and he did not win the game, and people are going to say that he didn't get it done. Rightfully so, but it's not all on Mark. It's not all on Lamar. The entire team lost, but guys got to step up in these moments, man. These are big games. Everybody's watching, and when you make big fumbles or you don't score on 2-point conversions at the end that hit you right in the hands, it's just like Lee Evans in 2011 when he dropped that touchdown pass. He wasn't the only reason the Ravens lost that game, but people are going to remember that because that was the biggest moment of the game, and that's what happened with Andrews tonight. Rightfully so or wrongfully so, I think a lot of people in Baltimore are going to blame him. The nation is going to blame Lamar because he's Lamar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alan said it earlier in the chat. We should have come into this game with the same game plan as last week, right? You're trying to get cute and do all these, these little trick pass plays and things that are keeping Derrick Henry from getting the ball, right? I don't care if he got stopped on a couple of plays. You got to keep getting the ball and run the read option. That's why it was so effective last week. If we weren't going to run the read option against the Steelers last week, that game would have looked a lot different. Run the read option against this team. You know this team more than the Steelers are going to ramp up to stop Derrick Henry because of what Derrick Henry did to them earlier in the season, right? Run the read option. Let Lamar get out there in space a few times. It spreads them out. And then let Derrick Henry and Justice Hill run the ball. It should have been a run-heavy game plan. They didn't decide to get serious about that until the third quarter. Right? Yeah. Like, you can't change what you've been doing all season and then expect guys who aren't prepared to catch the ball and excluding Mark Andrews, because he's the only one that was getting passes down the stretch, right? You need to catch the ball. But again, man, like, I'm sorry, to me, it's going to keep coming back to the defense, and we might have to do a video just pulling up how much money we spend on that defense. But the money we spend on defense, the draft picks, the first, second round picks that go into that side of the ball, everybody's clapping their hands and cheering. Yeah, we made a good pick. Yeah, good pickup. Yeah, we got Wiggins. Yeah, we got Owe. Hey, Ojabo fell to us in the second round. He's like a first round pick, right? Like all these draft picks going to that side of the ball. Hey, yeah, we gotta sign Matabike. We gotta bring him back. Hey, Roquan, got Roquan, all pro Roquan, right? Where was he?
Yeah, and this is something that you have been saying a lot, Jose. Like, we had the number one rushing defense in the league, but it might have been because the pass defense was so porous earlier in the season. Because Buffalo came out today and he ran the ball, I think, 36 times on us for 150 yards. If you told me we were only going to outrush Buffalo by 25 yards, I would tell you that we would lose the game. Like, we've been outrushing teams fit by 50 yards, 75 yards, 100 yards, pretty much routinely. And when they were able to hang with us with their rushing game, that gave them the advantage because they were at home. They got the benefit of some calls that probably could have gone either way. That pass interference call was completely egregious on Tre'Davious White in the first half. I don't understand how he doesn't have a right to stand his ground. He just gets pushed to the ground. I think it was by Keon Coleman. Yeah. And then they say it's pass interference. That led to a touchdown. But, Buffalo fans ain't going to say nothing about that because it worked in their favor. Rightfully so, I get it. But bottom line, we allowed Buffalo to run the football as good as we did. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we lost the game. Defense didn't show up to stop the run. And Matabike, Roquan, you guys are supposed to be clogging up the middle. I just felt like it was way too much James Cook. And even the other guy ran on us as well. What's his name? Ray Davis ran on us as well. He was getting, it looked like 5-7 yards every time he toted the rock. It's just too much Buffalo running the football down our throat.
But this is what I'm saying, though. I be saying, he says, I was like, get the 7 points. You talking about that the pass interference call. Mm-hmm. Why is that get the 7 points? Why can't you hold them to 3? Though that's where I need this defense to buckle down and keep them from getting into the end zone. Right? Like when I say special plays, that's what I'm talking about. Right? Yeah. Okay, we fumbled the ball to get down there. Yeah. Stop them from getting in the end zone. Hold it to field goals.
Let me hold on. He says now the defense played well. The defense forced 0 turnovers, got 1 sack, and gave up 3 touchdowns on 4 possessions in the first half. They played well in the second half. They did not play well in the first half. They're not out there to just kind of just be on camera and wave to the fans and all that. Like, they have to make plays. They don't ever make plays in the playoffs. This defense.
Yeah. No, the defense didn't play well, and nobody's lying. All right. You don't have to agree. Nobody's lying up here. Watch yourself.
Y'all were down Lamar 11 in the first half.
See, here we go. David, DDT says Lamar has to wear this one with the head coach. He threw it directly to the freaking opposition. You're talking about in the first quarter of the game, not in the fourth quarter. Like, so you're going to erase everything he did after that. He got them the touchdown that they needed to tie the game. He threw the pass for a 2-point conversion to tie the game.
And the pick didn't hurt because they didn't score on the next possession. So, yeah, that was a terrible throw, terrible read by Lamar. I'll give you that. But bottom line, the defense was able to hold Buffalo to 0 on the next possession. They didn't get a field goal. They didn't score a touchdown. You can't just blame Lamar for that. The turnover was bad. In the second turnover, they scored 7 on that.
I know you put that up, B, but
they had the 1 touchdown off of the turnover. The other 2 touchdowns did not come off of turnovers.
Is this true right here, Killer? Defense has not had a playoff turnover since 2019.
We didn't get one last week.
Yeah, no. I think we did. Didn't we get one against Tennessee?
Which year?
2020.
The one where we beat them.
That was 2020, I think, or
Yeah.
21. It was either 20 or 21.
Yeah, because didn't Peters seal the game with the interception?
Probably. But here's the thing.
They scored one touchdown off of a fumble, and then they scored a field goal in the second half off a fumble. So no, the rushing touchdowns did not come off of the fumbles.
But also too, here it is. Here's the thing too, right? We keep saying, "Oh, the defense played good. The defense played good. The defense play was okay." All the money's on that side. That defense can't play good. It has to be great. Y'all spend so much money on that side. You expect a great defense, not a good defense, not an okay defense, a great defense with the amount of money you've spent on that side and the draft capital you've given up on that side as well.
Oh, they had a couple 3 and outs, so they played really well. Cool.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's all it takes.
I guess so.
They had 1 3 and out, by the way.
I mean, they were the number 1 defense in the NFL a season ago, and there was some turnover. Obviously, we lost McDonald. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we lost a couple guys. Geno Stone is somebody. PQ, Patrick Queen is somebody I could think of off the top of my head. Jadeveon Clowney. But it didn't seem like we lost enough for the drop in defensive play that we experienced this season. And they played great over the second half of the season. But I think you were saying this, Brodny. We didn't really play a lot of good offenses the last 7 games, did we?
No.
Yeah, so we played. This is the best offense that we played in the last 7 or 8 weeks. And the defense gave up 21 points in the first half. Only 7 were off of a turnover. So the defense did not play well. You need a whole team effort to win on the road in the playoffs against a good team. And we didn't have that.
Now you said it's not a Ray Lewis defense. Cool. So they didn't play well, is what you're saying.
Exactly. They didn't play well then.
They didn't play well. You just don't have any expectations for them to play well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You have no
that's my point.
Exactly. Yeah, you have no expectations, no Hall of Famers on your defense. No one cares.
And when everybody in chat, all 250 people in here, tell me right now, who do you expect to win these games when it comes down the stretch? Just type in the chat. Who do you put it on? Because we all know the answer. It's one person, right? This guy right here. That's who you guys. That's who you're talking about right now, saying he choked the game away, even though he made the play to tie the game, right? Even though he played well in the second half. You're only talking about the turnovers that he had in the first quarter, really, right? Was the fumble in the first quarter or start the second?
The fumble and the interception were in the first half.
Yeah. So
and then because I think it was 1 in each quarter.
It's funny because even he says Lamar, right? You put the expectation on Lamar. So that's why we say hashtag defund the defense over here, because why do you keep investing in the defense and not the offense? They didn't invest in this offense. You paid a 30-year-old running back. What were we paying him? $8 million?
$8 million. I think it was 2 years, $16 million.
Mm-hmm. You let our O-line go, right? You let most of our veteran O-linemen go. You have Patrick McCarry, who's a backup guard / center starting. You have Daniel Faalele, who was a second-year tackle converted to guard, not good at both, starting. You try to start Andrew Voorhees, a 7th-round pick who was hurt all last year. You try to give him some spin at guard. And then you drafted a right tackle in the 2nd round, Roger Rosengarten, who played well. But there was no expectation for that O-line to play well. That came straight from Eric DeCosta's mouth early in the season, saying they'll be there next year. So that's not investing in your offense. They put everything into the defense. But when it comes to games like this, defense is always off the hook. They're not expected to do anything. They can mess up. They can give up touchdowns, and it's okay.
So there's because the defense is not going to score no points.
Bingo.
Nobody's asking them to score points. Stop the other team from scoring points.
Yeah. They don't have to give up touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because here's the thing, because when the Giants, right, were good. most of our money was on the defensive side of the football. And guess what? The defense showed up most of the time. You know what I mean? Because we expected that.
Yeah,
When let's go back to the 90s, the 80s, when you have 3 Hall of Fame linebackers, you expect your defense to stop people from scoring. You know what I mean? Because you gave them the money and they're the best players. When you keep giving money to one, if all the money was on the offensive side and they only scored 25 points, we would be saying not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not.
Yeah.
But the money isn't on that side.
It's also where they spend the money, though. Like there are certain positions that they really refuse to invest in, and edge rusher is one of them. This is one of those games where you might be able to get away with having an average secondary if you have a beast edge rusher, but we don't have that guy because Kyle Van Noy is the guy that we depend on, a journeyman who had a great season, played very well. I'm not coming down on Kyle Van Noy, but we won't pay a top of the line guy like a Trey Hendrickson or a Max Crosby or a Micah Parsons or a Myles Garrett to be that guy. We won't pay a top cornerback. We keep expecting to get a guy in the draft that is going to perform well in his first 3 to 4 years, and then we can decide whether or not we're going to extend him or pay him. We're only going to pay middle linebacker and safety for the most part, and maybe D tackle. And in these games, you got to be able to rush the pass. You got to be able to rush the quarterback with your front 4, because you're not going to be able to blitz and give a guy like Josh Allen 3 guys down the field. And you saw in this game, we didn't send a lot of blitzes at him because we were worried about guys being one-on-one down the field and Josh's ability to extend the play or break the pocket if you get too far up the field on the rush. So this is the thing about the defense. I want us to go out here and get a top-of-the-line pass rusher, because that's what the Ravens are missing more than anything else on defense.
I want them to stop spending money on defense. That's what I want to do. I want them to start taking the offense seriously, so we can if we're going to put the onus on Lamar Jackson, we're going to put it on the offense. They have a real shot at making these plays, because all that happened is they got off to a slow start, they turned the ball over, and we got into a hole that the defense wasn't going to help us get out of. And we're expecting the offense to do it, but without the firepower.
Exactly. All we're asking is treat Lamar Jackson the way the Chiefs treat Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Travis Kelce, Rishi Rice, Xavier Worthy. They ended up trading for DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean? Like what? 3 running backs ready for him at his disposal. They're just reloading.
If
Tyreek Hill.
Let's say we traded for Myles Garrett. We got Myles Garrett on that team tonight. Myles Garrett doesn't record a sack. Are we talking about Myles Garrett not recording a sack? Or are we still talking about Lamar Jackson not winning the game?
We still talk about Lamar because it's a quarterback-driven league. It's all about who's going to get clicks.
So in the offseason, who would you rather have? Tyreek Hill or Myles Garrett?
Tyreek Hill.
Most of Ravens Nation will say Myles Garrett.
So I just went and looked. The Ravens, since Lamar's been in the NFL, the Ravens defense have forced 3 turnovers in the playoffs. They forced a turnover his rookie year against the Chargers. They forced 1 turnover the next year against the Titans, and then they forced 1 turnover the playoff game he didn't play against Cincinnati. That's it.
And the Bills forced 3 turnovers tonight to juxtapose that.
And the Ravens also turned it over 3 times last year against Kansas City, I believe.
Yeah. Exactly, man, because, I remember last year the game against the Chiefs, right? They jump on you, and they get the early lead, and then they don't play very good at all. But they have enough cushion right there. And then I think, the game kind of changed once Zay Flowers fumbled at, 2-yard line. But that's just the way it was. This time, you played great. The defense played great in the second half. It was only 6 points. It's tremendous. But most of the money's on that side, and you gave up 21 in the first half. So we're judging the full game. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. People want to judge Lamar Jackson on the full game. Well, let's judge Lamar Jackson on the full game. He played bad in the first half. Yeah, he did.
If the pass defense was the reason to blame, I would kind of feel a little bit better about that because the secondary has been pretty poor all season. They started playing well at the end of the season, but like we said, it's not like they were playing juggernaut offenses week in and week out. Philly was probably the best offense we played in the last 8 weeks or so of the season because we had already played Cincinnati twice. We had already played KC early in the season, even though they weren't as great as they typically were on offense this year. And we played Buffalo early in the season, which was one of the top offenses in the league. And
that was week 3, though.
Yeah, that was week. But they were still one of the top offenses in the league. It just had been a while since we played a great offense. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is the way that they were able to beat us by being the more physical team is what hurts the most. It's like we built this team and this franchise on being the bully, on being able to run the football and stop the run, and they ran the football better than us. Even though we had more yards rushing, I would say that they were more effective running the football than us. They sustained drives. They held on to the ball. And I feel like they did a great job of stopping the run early in the game, which put us behind the 8 ball and forced us in a position where we had to come back from an 11-point halftime deficit.
Yeah, because you paid Nnamdi Madubuike $100 million to stop the run. And you didn't stop the run.
I didn't hear anybody bring up. I didn't hear anybody bring up first drive game, go up 7-0.
Yep.
They get the ball. We get them in a 3rd and long situation.
Brandon Stevens
Brandon Stevens gives up a long play to Khalil Shakir, and they're at our 35 or whatever. That changed things right there. Like, you have to get them off the field. You get them off the field there. We get the ball back.
14-0.
Yeah, or at least 10-0.
Or 10-0.
Or at the very least, they don't get any points on that drive. They came back and immediately answered right back because the defense is giving up big plays. The thing that we said, my camera keeps glitching on me. The thing that we said they cannot
buy a real
do.
Camera.
I have a real camera.
Use it.
Where are you right now, sir?
Thank you, Brother Minister 1963, who just subscribed. Appreciate you.
Streaming from your locker room. Don't talk to me.
Hey man, I am displaced because of renovations.
He is a displaced refugee. You cannot talk to him like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Displaced.
Yes. I'm just trying to help you out here, man.
Oh, your help. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your help, Ferris.
You know what? Whatever, man.
I towards the end of this season, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to lay off of Eric DeCosta a little bit. The team is looking good. They got in Derrick Henry. We said, hey, go get Saquon Barkley. They didn't go out after receivers, even though we said, hey, you need to go get a receiver. But Zay went over 1,000 yards. Rashad Bateman played really well. Lamar had the best passing season, or one of the best passing seasons ever. We said, hey, you need to really focus on that O-line. They said, no, we don't. Jason Voorhees. And then, the O-line kind of rounded into form, towards the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. And then you get into the playoffs, and the O-line's not opening holes for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's not dominant. Zay Flowers isn't there, and you are lacking in offensive talent. And then also the defense didn't show up in the first half.
Well,
so now it's right back. It's right back to go get some goddamn receivers and build a line around your quarterback.
But here's the thing too, right? They could have gotten DeAndre Hopkins this year for like a 4th.
Yeah, no, DeAndre Hopkins is not good enough. Go get a real number 1 receiver.
I was talking about this year. They could have a little Band-Aid.
I'm talking about that. No, I'm talking about this year too. They could have went and got Devontae Adams this year.
That too.
Go get a real number 1 receiver to put with your elite quarterback. Build a line around your quarterback. I'm tired of watching Jared Goff be able to hand the ball to Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs and throw it to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams and Tim Patrick and Colin Raymond. Like, it's disgusting. He doesn't deserve that. He's got a great offensive line in front of him and a great offensive coordinator. He doesn't deserve that.
Oh,
Lamar
Lenny
deserves
the cool Dawson with a great cliche here. Coaches aren't playing.
Yeah.
They're not
They-
coaching either, Lenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also too, you know, people talking about Mark Andrews. Who picked Mark Andrews? The coaches.
The
Well,
You
coaches
know,
aren't playing.
here's the thing.
So,
we keep talking about how.
what's the coach's job?
No, 'cause we keep talking
Anytime
about-
the team
yeah,
falls
man.
apart, it's never the coach's job. It's everybody else except the coach. What's the coach's job then? Just to stand around and just watch? What is the
Exactly,
coach
man.
supposed to do? Is he not supposed to get the team prepared for these games?
Also,
I
too,
mean-
we keep talking about how we know Mark Andrews is going to choke somehow in these playoff games. If we know it, the people who are paid to know it must know it. Why are you playing him?
It's almost like
Goes back to coaching right there.
it's almost like they wanted to give Andrews the opportunity to make up for the mistake he made at the end by throwing that 2-point conversion to him. And to me, I don't care about storylines and all that. Win the game, man. Give it to the guys who got you there. You're not there without Lamar. You're not there without Derrick Henry. If one of those guys gets stopped, I'm okay with that. It's the fact that you give it to the guy who's been a known choker for the majority of his career, especially in the playoffs. Now, Mark Andrews has had some great seasons. He's been an all-pro before. I'm not going to act like he hasn't been a great player for this franchise. But, B, you read the stats. 8 games, 350 yards?
314 and 0 touchdowns.
314. So what are we talking about here? 40 yards a game and 0 touchdowns from a
Zero touchdowns in 6 years.
In 6 years from a guy that was first team All Pro. Come on.
What's going on, Alex Ray? They said the team looked ready. Mark didn't. No, the team wasn't ready. Lamar wasn't ready. The defense wasn't ready. Obviously, Mark Andrews was not ready. The run game wasn't ready. Why
is Lamar even putting the ball in
early.
the air at that interception? I'm just thinking about that. I'm sorry, B. That just came to my mind.
They should have just ran the ball.
Yes.
Because Brian, you talked about how time is linear, right? It's on a line, but no, it's a circle because we keep going forward and we just keep coming back to John Harbaugh. We keep going, then we just keep going back.
John is in the car with us, fast. It's not a circle. They just have not kicked him out of the car yet.
Okay.
Even if John is not to blame, he still has to go, in my opinion, because I'm tired of talking about him. Get him out of here. I want to see what somebody else can do with this team. It's been 17 years. Enough is enough. That Super Bowl is getting rusty at this point in time. You can't lean on that anymore. Billick couldn't lean on it Billick didn't have 10 years after winning a Super Bowl of being inept in the playoffs and not getting it done. So why is he getting an additional, 12, 13 seasons to choke every year? Like, the players aren't always the same, but the coach is the same guy. I want to see a different voice there, a different guy. He ain't it. He looks shook. He looks scared in these situations. We always go back to the fact that he's going to choke in the big moments. And, yeah, this is a game that I wouldn't put all the way on John Harbaugh, but still, he doesn't have the team prepared in these moments to win these games, and we need somebody else to take the helm at this point.
I always go back to Philly, right? Philly told Andy Reid, who apparently everyone here now loves Andy Reid. He can go kiss my ass, to be quite honest. I hate the guy.
Stop being a Giants fan, bro.
No, I'm not going to. So I don't care.
That's why all the hate is in your heart, because your team ain't winning.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. We beat him a lot of times because he was a choke artist in Philly.
Sure you did.
Yeah, we did. We did beat him a lot of times in Philly.
Yeah,
He choked a lot. But Philly told Andy Reid, who now everyone now loves, bye. It's over. We don't work no more. So sayonara. And everyone kind of agreed with it. Then he goes to Kansas City. But Baltimore can't tell John Harbaugh, it's not working anymore. There's a cap. We've been capped. It's time for you to go. So Philly can say that to Andy Reid, but Baltimore can't do that to John Harbaugh?
Right.
The Niners told Jim
Andy Reid ain't have a ring in Philly, did he?
No, he didn't. That's a good point.
And realistic one, I see what you're saying. You're wrong about that too, right? Saying regarding Mark Andrews' 6 years, no touchdown stat. Keep in mind, most of those seasons, Lamar was a thrower, and he's saying he just became a passer. No, Mark Andrews had opportunities to get touchdowns in the postseason before. He just dropped them.
Damn, how do you win MVP by being a thrower?
I mean, 1 year he led the league in touchdown passes. The fact is,
my man
Mark
said
Andrews
he
just
threw
doesn't show up.
36 touchdowns to 6 interceptions and couldn't pass.
I mean, okay, I guess he just didn't expect the ball in the postseason. B. I guess that's what happened on that drop. He just didn't expect the ball to go his way right there at the goal line because he's not used to getting the ball. I guess that's what happened on the 2 drops prior to that. I guess that's what happened on the fumble too. He was just shocked, right? Like, no, man, he played terrible. He played terrible. But I want everybody to know too, because I see some people in here saying, what was I say?
Who would you replace Harbaugh with?
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay,
we'll get to that in a second. All right. We've actually done multiple videos on this, but the people that are saying it's not on the defense, I just want y'all to know this is a reoccurring conversation that we have at this time every year. You can go back and look at our old videos. Go back around this time. We have this conversation every year, and we tell you guys exactly what you're going to say in the offseason, what you're going to say in the regular season, and what you're going to say in the postseason, right? Hey, it's not on the defense, it's not on the coach, it's not on the GM. Okay, this offseason, we need to get defense, right? We need to go and draft defense. Got to get an edge rusher, right? We need another corner to replace Brandon Stevens. Why? The defense didn't do anything wrong. I thought you said the defense was fine. But why do we need to go out there and keep restocking on the defense if the defense is fine? The offense falls to the wayside. Lamar carries the offense throughout the season. They look good enough. And then we get to the playoffs and they're not good enough. And we say, hey, what on the defense? Defense was fine. Nothing to see here. Lamar's got to make plays. Why can't Lamar make plays? Oh, we don't need to go get Lamar any help in the offseason. Tyreek Hill, diva, wants money. Draft a wide receiver, not worth it in the first round. Edge rusher, you betcha. You betcha. Let's get the best one we can, the money can buy. And when that edge rusher doesn't show up in the playoffs, bad game.
Thank you very much, Shug, for the donation. He says, "Good evening, fam. Hate seeing my friends hurting. Engraven, Coach, Hendo, Yolanda, Jose, Mr. Sunglasses. Just know I am here for you. Much love."
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that, Shug. And at least you guys didn't hurt us. I appreciate that. Armchair Gamer says, "Who would replace Harbaugh if he isn't fired? It'd be a highly sought after job." We answer this question every year too, because Harbaugh should have been fired 3 years ago. Actually, he should have been fired 7 years ago.
The answer is, there are plenty of qualified coaches. I'll just throw out Ben Johnson. How about that? How about would you like to see the Detroit offense in Baltimore?
I'll take Aaron Glenn. Yeah. I'm still a fan of Eric Bieniemy, even though he's in college right now.
He got fired.
Byron Leftwich. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Where was he at?
UCLA.
He's done. There's no chance he's ever coaching the NFL again.
Yeah, I know he's not going to, but who would I choose? He would be one of my candidates. Byron Leftwich, who just got interviewed, would be one of my candidates.
Why not Monken? Because he hasn't really done a good job as an offensive coordinator. So
he's done a great job in the regular season, but in the postseason,
he did an all right job in Baltimore in the regular season. He wasn't a great offensive coordinator at his other stops. There's a reason he was an offensive coordinator in college rather than ever being a head coach in the NFL.
I'll take Deion Sanders prime time. Let's get
I'm about to kick you off this stream, bro.
No way.
Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores.
He's been black. He's still in the NFL, and I feel like they blackballed him from opportunities. Personally.
We're not saying what's going to happen because realistically, Harbaugh's probably not going to. But
he's not
getting fired. But who will we pick? Who are people that we like? That's one of the guys.
Mike Tomlin. I'd love to see him switch up.
Steelers will never get rid of him, man. Steelers, they enjoy that we don't fire head coaches, we give them chances BS because they've only had 3 head coaches in the past 50 years.
I wasn't going to say it like this, but somebody did. But somebody did. House says Monken getting carried by Lamar, he's not good. So there we go.
You know, man, you know what, Lenny Dawson, you know what? I'm not, I don't want to speak out of turn.
Well, this is the thing about the Ravens. I would love.
I know you're cosplaying as him, but disrespect.
I want to see our owner actually say something. Like I'm sick of him just owning a team and not having an opinion on anything. I know he has opinions, but he just doesn't speak publicly at all. I'm not saying he has to be Jerry Jones, but I want him to come out and say, this is unacceptable, falling short like this in the postseason. I want to see him say there's going to be changes made. Do something to make your fan base feel like we're not going to be having the same conversation a year from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's actually a bunch of qualified candidates to replace John Harbaugh. It's a bunch, if you really think about it, the reason they won that Super Bowl back in 2012, Greg Roman was like, I'm gonna stop running the ball with Frank Gore at the 2-yard line, just like John did today. Birds of a feather fly together, correct? So there's that. Yeah. And you're right, Haitian Chris. There's always a lot of your assistants have left. 3 of the assistants last year under Mike McDonald all left. Well, no, one of them stayed because he became the DC. The other 2 became DCs in Tennessee and Miami. So you need staff continuity as well. So it doesn't really matter.
All right, I'm just looking at over the cap real quick. All right, Marlon Humphrey, $14 million this year. That's base salary. Roquan, $15 million. Matabike, $7.5. Owe, 13. Marcus Williams, it says void, but he's making his cap number is $8 million right now, $8.8 million. Actually, let me go back because that's just his base salary. Let me go back what that cap hit is. Let's go to the cap. $25 million for Marlon Humphrey right now. 23 for Roquan. Matt BK is 16. Owe is 13. Marcus Williams is 8.8. Kyle Van Noy, $6 million. That ain't bad at all for the year he had. Broderick Washington, 4.6. That ain't bad either. Those are all the big ones. The rest of them are pretty reasonable. But those are some big numbers there. Just Humphrey, Roquan, Matabike. That's almost, well, that's about $70 million. Almost $70 million right there. Throw Owe in there, Marcus Williams. You're close to $100 million salary cap with those guys. One doesn't play at all. He doesn't play at all. Healthy scratch.
Marcus Williams.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of money that we spend and we don't expect anything.
Hey, good news for y'all though. There's not a lot of people that you need to re-sign who are hitting free agency. So that's
we've talked about that in the past too. That's the funny thing. We've talked about that. We went. I saw that it came up on my timeline. You read a whole list of free agents. The only one that we got wrong, the only one on that list that we got wrong was Justice Hill. Everybody else, you named a lot of people, and you're like, they can all go.
Yeah.
Deshaun, Jordan Birch plays for Oregon, not Oregon State.
But Ronnie Stanley, Patrick Ricard are really, and Darius Washington are really the only guys who need to come back from this free agent list for Baltimore. So, silver lining there. You're going to bring back mostly the same team.
Well, also, too, you're right about that. Also, too, let's go to Washington's team construction. The team that's in the other side of the facing Philadelphia. They had 60 free agents this year. Just a completely bunch of... So, you guys can really change your team in a year and still compete. If you get rid of some people if you want. So, it's possible. You just need to pick the right players.
Well, the thing is... And I'm sorry that I muted you there. The thing about Washington
that's not me. You hear that noise? I think that's fair. So it's fair. So
I don't know. But the thing about
someone's
Washington
doing some water on next door
is that they are, I'm going to say, likely not a playoff team next year. That's a team that made the playoffs because Dak Prescott got hurt. There were a lot of injuries in San Francisco. Seattle's kind of, trying to turn things around with their new coach and everything. Arizona, I mean, they win Arizona. But they were likely not going to be a playoff team this year. But some teams were not as good as expected. And I feel like they're not going to be a playoff team next year.
Right.
But, you can make changes. You don't want to make a ton of changes in any particular season. And the Ravens don't need to. They need to get Zay Flowers back healthy. They already got Rashad Bateman under contract. Go out and get another high-end wide receiver. And do what you can to fix the O-line this offseason, and you'll be fine.
Fire the GM and fire the head coach immediately.
Also, yes.
Or, have a mutual parting of ways, something. But you only get so many shots at this.
Haitian Chris, don't say that again, or I'm banning you. You're not getting T. Higgins. T. Higgins coming down south. Y'all leave him alone.
He's messing with you. But
am I?
You only get but so many shots at this, right? It's obviously not working.
I guess you need to update the description. There was a
what?
Corey says the description says the Bills lose a heartbreaker to the Bills.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll fix that. Thank you. Appreciate that. I wish that were the case, but
No, that's a caption next week for when they lose to the Chiefs. The Bills lose the Bills. No, I mean, do y'all even care who wins at this point? Or is it, just on the next season, y'all done with football for the year?
I mean, I'm a football fan. I'm gonna watch. Obviously I don't have any vested interest in teams that are left, but I'm going to watch the games. And yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about next year on this channel. So
yeah, I love watching Josh Allen play. I love watching Pat Mahomes play. I love watching Jaden Daniels play. I tolerate watching Jalen Hurts because Saquon Barkley's on that team. So I'll be watching next week and the Super Bowl, but I don't have
lost love for football since week 3.
You gotta stop, bro. just for one season.
Wait, Thomas, scratch. We actually won in week 3. Week 4.
Just for one season. One season, stop following the Giants and follow a good team and see how it can be.
I once decided to become a Chargers fan for a week.
That was a bad decision. That week. That was a bad decision. Picking the Chargers is a bad decision.
No, but here's the thing. Then I stopped being the Chargers fan for that week. They won 3 in a row.
That's fine, okay. But it's still the Chargers is a bad decision.
All right, we still got 200 people in here, man. Shout out to y'all. Hit that like button. If you're brand new in here, hit that subscribe button. All right. I want to ask the chat, Ravens fans, now that our season is over and we look towards the draft, what do you want to draft?
Abdul Carter.
Seriously, I want to know while we're sitting here talking about Lamar needs to do more. I want to know, what do you want the Ravens to draft?
Oh, the Ravens.
Ashton Jeanty.
Listen, I wouldn't even really be opposed to it. You're gonna have to replace Derrick Henry within the next couple of years anyway. Ashton Jeanty looks like a beast.
Dewan 100 says O-lineman. I agree. Wide receiver or solidify O-line. I agree.
T-Mac
this is my favorite part. It's my favorite part because everybody's going to say that. And then come draft time, you're going to be like, get that edge. Get that corner.
Get the corner. Yep. Everybody loved the corner pick. We always sound so negative in the offseason. We always sound so negative when we say the Ravens didn't do enough. Because when we got Derrick Henry signed, I wish some of those people were still around. I know, around this time of the year, they always seem to not show up anymore. But last year when we signed Derrick Henry, we said, cool, but it's not enough. And also we said we prefer Saquon Barkley. No shade to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a great year. Hopefully he has another great year next year because I want to run it back. But Saquon Barkley is younger and better. He's better, right? We were called negative for that. We also said it's cool that we got Derrick Henry. We still need to fix the O-line, right? When we did the draft show, we covered days 1 and 2 on Coach's channel. You know, the whole Roundup crew was there, and the first pick was Nate Wiggins. We said we didn't like the
invitation.
pick.
Hurtful.
Are you part of the Roundup?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, but but people called us negative. But we need help on the O-line, right? We need help on the O-line, and Wiggins, and we said it. Wiggins is a good player. He's not going to be able to come in day one and be a lockdown corner. He's going to need some time. We just didn't think it was a good pick. That doesn't help us out right now. And he did need time. You know, he's okay now. We haven't seen the best version of him. But O-line, if you're not going to re-sign your guys, and everybody wanted to get rid of Ronnie Stanley last year, right? You want to get rid of Ronnie Stanley. We didn't re-sign what's his name? Our guard.
Moses.
Zeitler. Yeah, we didn't, and we didn't bring back Moses, right? Like we let John Simpson go. You let 3/5 of the O-line walk. But let's rely on a 2nd round rookie, a 7th round draft pick from the year prior who played 0 snaps because he was hurt, in a backup guard, and just a bad guard. That was the plan. So when we say we didn't feel good about it, that's not being negative. That's just being honest. You know? So,
and the reality too is that when you go out there and you stumble out of the gates 0-2, in large part because your O-line's not ready to go and your team isn't ready to go. Like one of those games flips this game from Buffalo to Baltimore.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but we still might lose at home, though. That's sad
you might, but you've got a better chance to win at home than on the road. And they have to stop saying, "Hey, we're going to use the first month of the season to get ourselves in shape." Essentially,
Roquan.
Yeah, I don't think Roquan deserved the first team All-Pro nod that he got. I think that was more of reputation and play. He wasn't as impactful as we've seen him in the past this season, and he was an absolute no-show in this game. I saw him in the pregame huddle. Looked like he was hyping up the team a la Ray Lewis back in the day. But when Ray did that in the huddle, he balled out on the field.
He led by example. Yeah.
If you're going to be that rah-rah guy, this is our house, we taking it, you got to go out there and lead by example, and you got to ball out. And Matt Milano was better than him tonight. I hate to say it.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people think Matt Milano's better than him, period.
He was better than Knight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't argue with that right now. He
definitely played better. In the draft receiver category, you guys are probably going to be aiming for Emeka Egbuka, Isaiah Bond, or Trey Harris, one of them three, because you guys are probably not going to get Travis Hunter, T-Mac, or Luther Burden III, because they're probably going the top 20 before you guys even pick. In the tackle category, the 2 top tackles are Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks Jr. They'll be gone by the top 20 as well. So you guys are probably going to be aiming for Josh Simmons or Josh Conley Jr. out of Oregon. And in guard category, I would probably go at Johnny Cornelius, guard out of Oregon as well, because he's a very good pick. Donovan Jackson maybe.
Because you know damn well they're drafting an edge.
Yeah, I know.
You know damn well, and
it's a possibility.
Here we have.
Get ready to be cheering for Jack Sawyer, guys.
Like Deshaun here says, been looking at people's mock drafts and they're predicting the Ravens drafting pass rusher Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. It's funny because I was just asking Jay about this guy for the Panthers in the 2nd round. He is 6'6", 290, doesn't have a lot of production. That's right up the Ravens' alley.
Yeah, it's him. He was a part of that famous class where they had like the top 6 defensive linemen in the nation, where they give them a bunch of oil money. Shout out to NIL, by the way.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, he's just all athlete. He's it's you're rolling the dice on the guy.
Yeah, and the Ravens, this staff has proven that they cannot develop guys fast enough. I mean, in general, they're not that good at developing, but they don't develop them fast enough. Owe, it's just now looking like he's starting to turn a corner, going into his 5th year, and then he has to get paid, and we probably don't want to pay him. Ojabo ain't working out, right? Our leading edge rusher in sacks is Kyle Van Noy.
It's like
A guy,
35 or 34 or whatever.
yeah, we picked him up off the street last year, and then we had to do that again this year. And like we just can't rely on the young guys because we don't develop them. Stop wasting your time with those guys.
Yeah, look at all the corners we drafted. They can't even get on the field. What happened
Yeah.
to Armar Davis? What happened to Williams, Pepe? I haven't seen him in a month of Sundays. Like, we got a lot of guys that we drafted that either can't see the field or when they do, they're unproductive. I mean, Ajabo, he's been pretty much non-existent.
Yeah.
And we predicted him to be a first-round talent. He was coming off injury at Michigan.
Not
They
over
said
here. We
he
did.
was they said he was a first-round talent. That's
A lot of
what we
people
were
said that,
hoping
yeah.
for.
If you had been
Yeah.
watching the show, I would have told you about that nonsense.
Well, he obviously hasn't proven to be a first-round talent.
He
And
tore his Achilles.
it's
Tore his
hard.
Achilles during the draft process. So that
What's his excuse today?
Yeah, he's
he has
healthy
no
now.
excuse today.
And that's not an excuse during the draft process either. If he was a top 15 talent, like people were saying, he would have gone in the first
Yeah,
round.
But
Jeffrey
Adrian's making a
Springs-
bigger point, though. I don't want. Yeah, well, you're making a bigger point. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, my point is just that, like you said, Jose, we're not developing the guys that we get. When you miss on first and second round, it's really hard to build a championship team. You can go out here and try to put some free agents that are going to be able to be successful and be great additions to the team. But bottom line, like, the best teams are built through the draft. And we haven't done a great job of drafting since Ozzie Newsome stepped down and EDC stepped up. And I feel like he's living off of the fact that Ozzie's last draft, he was able to get Lamar. And Lamar has covered up for a lot of warts. He's a great deodorant. But at the end of the day, he can only cover but so much stink. And a lot of these guys, I'm not saying they stink, but they a little
They do stink.
They a little musty come fourth quarter in close games and playoff games against top competition. And we've seen it for 6 seasons now, that when we play the top teams, they have a little bit extra. They have a little bit something that we're not able to display.
Well, the fact too, Adrian, is that it's not even that all these other teams are so much more talented. It's just they have coaching staffs that know how to use their players. Why were you not able to get Keaton Mitchell involved in the offense this entire season? Right?
It was red shirt season. That's what it's looking like to me.
But I mean, I think he played as a rookie. He made an impact as a rookie in the few games he played, right? So everybody's looking forward to getting Keaton Mitchell back, right? Keaton Mitchell comes back, and they're like, I mean, I don't know, how do we utilize a third running back? They have no clue.
Yeah, how do you utilize a guy that averaged 9 yards a carry last season? I don't know.
Yeah.
You can do a couple carries, see if he can run.
Yeah, it's for me, me and B, we were already done with Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh. I think they really need to look at this front office, this coaching staff, this offseason. It's time for a change, right? Most fans were pretty much done with John Harbaugh after last season. They kind of jumped on board because we always have fun during the regular season. It's always a fun ride until we get to this point. How many more times do you want to see this? Right? You can say it's not John Harbaugh's fault, but damn, man, why does it always look the same every year?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It looks the same no matter what, no matter the offensive coordinator, no matter the personnel that's in the game, it always looks the same. Maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he has bad luck, but we can't have bad luck on the team either. So it's time to go. Eric DeCosta hasn't done anything great for this team. He can go too. We damn sure can do better than this.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm willing to bet if you call up Ben Johnson, I think it's Ben Johnson, right? The Detroit guy. I don't know why it
Yeah,
just
Ben Johnson.
doesn't sound right to me. But
Because
if you
his name
call
is
up Ben
like
Johnson,
Ben Johnson. It's like a very nondescript name. You know, it's
right?
like, oh,
Yeah,
my name is John
I'm forgetting
Smith.
something.
Like, my name is John Smith.
But if you call up Ben Johnson and ask him if he wants to coach Lamar Jackson, he'll say hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
He'd much rather coach him than Jared Goff,
right?
At this point,
because you can fill in them other spots, but he doesn't have a talent like Lamar Jackson, the quarterback now, and I'm certain that wherever he ends up, he wants to have that position taken care of, right? Like he's talking to the Raiders, and you're like, what you gonna do with the Raiders, bro? What you gonna do with Aiden O'Connell?
yeah. My thing is,
man, why you gotta hate on AOC like that, man? Come on,
because he sucks.
hey, B, I remember a Chargers team that went 14-2 and fired Marty Schottenheimer that season. It's not unprecedented to fire a head coach after having a bunch of playoff runs or having a great season in the regular season, because at Harbaugh's level, at DeCosta's level, it's not about what you do in the regular season. We said this before the season started. I feel like everybody in Ravens Nation said it's all about what happens in January with the Ravens. We're already expecting 12 wins, 13 wins. We're expecting to be in a division round, but we're expecting a Super Bowl and expecting to get over the hump in these big games, and we haven't been able to do it. We keep running the same guys back in leadership. It's time for new leadership, even if they're not the right guys. I just want to see different guys at this point.
Yeah, it's time for a change, man. I'm sorry. Like, you can't defend this anymore. It's run its course. You can say it's not his fault. Maybe it's nobody's fault. Whatever. It's not working. That's what we know. It's not working. So it's time. It's time to let him move on. What are you laughing at, B?
Why you gotta call this dude Officer Father? That's not nice.
Huh.
Who's Officer Father?
I'm assuming he's talking about Aiden O'Connell, but
because of the mustache. Yeah, because of the yeah.
Oh,
here's the other thing. Haitian Chris brings it up. Ways to pick on Tez Walker for him to play 3 snaps, and a guy off the street gets more playing time. Why was Anthony Miller on the field and not Tez Walker?
Y'all remember when Tez Walker caught that touchdown against the Giants and then disappeared?
Yeah, because y'all didn't cover him.
That too.
Well, that's the other thing too. Another reason why Eric DeCosta can go as well. When do we expect Tez Walker to have an impact on this team?
And if it wasn't this year, why did you pick him?
Well, okay. Do we expect anything next year? Because when he doesn't do anything, nobody's going to care.
No. People said he was the answer before the season. And
to
now,
what?
at the end of the season, with his one catch for the one touchdown, nobody cares that he wasn't involved.
2 years ago, we were debating with other content creators about letting Devin Duvernay and Prochet get some opportunities, and we said no, they're not good enough. Right? That was a debate, and no shot saying those content creators, but that's the thought in this area. Let those young guys.
Coach.
No, I'm not talking
to
Coach.
I'm kidding, Coach.
But that was the consensus thought around here is let those guys play. We don't need to go and get a star wide receiver. Those guys are good enough.
Daniel, you're incorrect. Tez Walker is not the new Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace actually gets on the field.
Yeah, and this is another point that I have. If DeCosta was so great at picking guys, why when guys leave here, they're non-threats on their team? What is James Prochet doing on the Browns right now? I saw him returning kickoffs. I hadn't seen him out there making big time plays. Devin Duvernay, I think he went to the Jags. What did he really do? Like a lot of these guys, when they leave here, it's not like they step up and they show that, they were worthy of that second round pick or that first round pick. Those guys fall off the face of the earth when they leave here because they're not that talented to begin with. We keep missing in the draft. And because we're not bad enough to pick in the top 5, we have to be better at scouting. Our scouting department is not picking up the guys that we need that are going to take us over the hump. You're going to win with your star players, but you need a fully fleshed out team to be able to win a championship. And the teams that are able to do that, they're the ones that are constantly in position to win. we keep saying the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because they draft better than everybody else, because they pick up the right free agents that mesh well with their team. And that's no coincidence at all. So when you have the right leadership, you have a better chance of winning.
I'll tell you what, man. No shade to Rashad Bateman, because he's played well this season. He is a rock solid number 3 and a respectable number 2. Do you think if that was George Pickens, he wouldn't have gotten into the end zone on that second pass?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's scoring. He's scoring right there. Definitely.
He's absolutely scoring on that play, right?
Yeah.
Rashad caught it and he went all whirligig and fell down, and he was like, "Oh, where am I?" It was weird.
I mean,
but
look, he stepped up. He played well, and
y'all got David Ojabo though.
Not having Zay Flowers hurt as well, but yes, somebody like George Pickens is a step above. And this is what we were arguing with you about a couple weeks ago, Adrian, about Tyreek Hill. Like, he's a game changer, right? He's done this to the Bills, right? He's that guy, oh, we got 13 seconds left? Say less. Touchdown, right?
Forces the safeties to get back. You can't stack the box with too much people. You create more rush lanes for Derrick Henry, because the safeties can't get up, because if they do, and he beats the corner off of a quick go, you're screwed. There's no safety help. So they got to make the safety stay back. So the Tyreek Hill, man, he changes the game, man. Just by existing, he changes the game.
Not saying no hate for Rashad Bateman. Like I said, he's played well this year. I'm saying that they need better.
Don't compare. No, what we're saying is don't compare Rashad Bateman to Tyreek Hill. Don't compare these guys to Devontae Adams, right? These guys that were saying, hey, this is another level player. We should get him. And you're saying, oh, well, we got Rashad Bateman here. We got Zay Flowers here. Yeah. And those guys aren't them.
All right, Kim, you don't need to rub that in.
Yeah, she straight rubbed it in right there, man. She put salt in that wound. Like, she didn't just put salt, bro. She like injected it with a needle, man.
Well, that 2-point conversion, D-Hop would have caught that.
Yeah, he would have definitely caught that with one hand.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it. I feel like we had more weapons than the Bills this year. I mean, who's really scared of anybody other than Josh Allen and Cook? Shakir.
I agree.
But
I agree.
We had enough to win this game.
That's why we choked. We were the better team, and we choked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, did you feel that way watching the game?
No, watching the game, I felt like we should have had more.
You didn't. You know why? You know why you didn't feel that way watching the game? Is because your coaches don't know how to use players, and theirs do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like going back, we brought up Kansas City with free agency, like Adrian said. Besides Chris Jones, who on that defense, him and Trent McDuffie, those are Chris Jones really is their star player. They drafted Trent McDuffie late in the first round. They drafted George Karlaftis late in the first round, and they just they got rid of L'Jarius Sneed, and the defense didn't fall off. Why? Yeah. Because Steve Spagnuolo knows what he's doing. Steve Spagnuolo probably has a case to being one of the first ever assistants to be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. But, some people have been saying that. But Spags, you'd be like, oh, you give me a San Diego Chargers outcast and Drew Tranquil? I'll make Drew Tranquil a better linebacker than you guys ever thought he would ever be. And he's their starting linebacker.
Well, how many Super Bowls has Spagnuolo won at this point? 3?
4? 4 or 5.
Wait, what about
the what we have?
What about the Steelers defensive coach, Dick LeBeau?
Well, he got him because he was one of the greatest defensive backs of all time.
No, he should. You
well,
saying
that too. You can
case?
You can also make his case too. I thought he was going in as an assistant when he went into the Hall of Fame, but they're like, no, he played. Actually, and I was like, what? He's one
Dick LeBeau has 60 interceptions as a Detroit Lion.
Yeah, he's one of the Lions' greatest DBs
I'm saying
of all time.
If an assistant's going to get in, he should be the first one to get in.
Yeah, you made that case. No, exactly, Kim. I agree with you.
God,
that's what I'm saying.
Kim.
I'm agreeing with you. The pieces mesh.
Why you like this? Chiefs have pieces that mesh well together. Coaching. All right, Kim.
Yeah,
we saying fire Harbaugh.
That's what I'm saying.
we saying
y'all like, let's be real, man. Drew Tranquil flamed like he was good. He was fine in San Diego or LA, whatever the hell you want to call him, the Chargers. But like, let's not act like y'all. Everyone thought he was gonna be this great linebacker in Kansas City. He's damn good in Kansas City.
Don't think I didn't see your comment about Isaiah Pacheco being a 7th round pick and EDC needing to scout more. I saw that.
Yeah, she's right though. She's right though.
Yeah, our second round guys can't even get on the field, and you know the thing about us is we beat ourselves, and we keep saying the same thing. Like the Chiefs don't beat themselves. You have to beat the Chiefs for 4 quarters. You got to play better than them. They're not going to make that big turnover. 95% of the time, you're going to have to march down the field and beat them. And with us, it's like in the big games, we beat ourselves. We choke. And a lot of that is on the coaching staff. Yes, it's not all on them, but you're not getting rid of Lamar right now. You're not getting rid of a lot of the big time players because a lot of them have contracts that nobody wants. Nobody wants Roquan's contract right now. Nobody wants Madubuike's contract right now. So what can you get rid of that can make the biggest impact on the team? And sometimes it's addition by subtraction. And that's why I feel like we're all saying Harbaugh and EDC has to go at this point.
Yeah. And look, just if you're a Ravens fan, don't watch TV for a week or so, man. At least for a few days. They're gonna be talking about Lamar. They're gonna be trolling, and you gotta understand, man. Like a lot of people are going to troll because they don't have a quarterback like Lamar, right?
I would take Lamar in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Lamar's never going to win a Super Bowl. Okay, well, neither is Jared Goff, ladies and gentlemen. He's never going to win either. Neither is Sam Darnold. All right. Neither is Joe Burrow, even though he's been to the Super Bowl. They're not getting back.
Well, Jose, thank you for pointing out me and Caleb on our show, Good Friends, Better Rivals, every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern.
I'll give you time to plug, okay?
I know,
Go ahead.
Sorry. We talked about that, right? How many of these quarterbacks that we keep talking about that are great quarterbacks have Super Bowls? 0, besides Patrick Mahomes. It went from Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes. That's literally what happened. And then you have that weird little year with Matthew Stafford. No one outside of Patrick got rings. Nobody. None of them. Well,
this
Matthew
from
Stafford.
G-Man Cool 6. G-Man Cool 6 says, crazy, y'all will blame Mark. I think it's crazy you have the same first and last name, bro. Like you're tell me that a dude who dropped multiple passes, fumbled the ball, and then dropped a 2-point conversion that would have tied the game, and it's crazy to blame him?
It's crazy that you're blaming Lamar for turning the ball over early, but not Mark for turning the ball over late and dropping the 2-point, the game-tying 2-point conversion.
Mark Andrews is washed despite coming off of a 6-game touchdown streak to enter the playoffs.
Didn't he have 9 touchdowns? 10 touchdowns?
He had 11 touchdowns this year, and he had 6 games in a row where he scored coming into the playoffs. Now I know this is going to shock you. He did not score against Pittsburgh, but the previous 6 games he had touchdowns.
I believe he had more touchdowns than any TE in the league, including Travis Kelce. So why shouldn't we expect him to play well?
Travis didn't play until this weekend. So
all right. So Travis didn't play well, but he outplayed pretty much every tight end besides Bowers this season, who was better than him.
No, he's the thing, but that's right there, Travis Kelce. He was lollygagging throughout the entire year because he knows the goal is the playoffs. First playoff game, what happens? 100 yards and a touchdown. Because he knows when the moment needs him, he shows up. He is second all time in receiving touchdowns and receiving yards, and he's first in catches in playoff history. When you're only behind Jerry Rice and you're a tight end, what does that tell you? That shows you when the lights are bright, call my name. Not that other dude in Baltimore. We'd be like, when the lights are bright, please don't call me. I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, Mark Andrews was 5th in the league in touchdowns this season.
Period. Not just for tight ends, but
right.
Overall.
He was behind Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Mike Evans. That's it.
Yeah, but we can't expect him to play big in the biggest
actually
games
was tied with Mike Evans. My bad.
Deshaun says Roquan Smith will be okay next year. He know what happened. He's going to fix that. Nothing happened to Roquan. He's limited, right?
He's also kind of fat.
He slimmed down towards it. Yeah, he slimmed down. Okay. He's a good player. He's not a great player, right? He's a good player. He's not a great player. There's nothing wrong with Roquan, but that's why you don't pay all that money for a player like Roquan on top of everything else, right? If we have everything else there and we have some extra money, then you can go and get Roquan. But if you're getting him because the first round pick that you spent on Patrick Queen didn't work out, that's like, let's not forget that. Let's not forget why we keep getting these guys and paying for these guys, because that's just covering up the mistakes that we made in the past, right? We didn't want to pay CJ Mosley money,
You let
and we got
Mosley walk,
and then we draft Queen. Queen didn't work out, so we go and trade for Roquan Smith, and then we have to pay Roquan Smith, and now Roquan isn't the player that we need him to be in situations like this.
G-Man, cool. You're sitting here, you're saying that Mark Andrews was washed because he didn't play well to start the season. Ben, we just told you that he finished 5th in the league in receiving touchdowns, and you tell us he sucks anyway. Are you stupid?
Well, no. He's also talking about how we're glazing Mark Andrews. He just got here because he hadn't been watching this entire video.
How we're glazing Mark Andrews after his first comment was, it's crazy that we would blame him.
Exactly. So are we glazing him? Or are we blaming him? What are we doing?
So I retract my question. You are stupid.
Yeah. Are you?
Hey, shout out to Bills Mafia, man. Y'all
Shout out
won
to Bills
the game.
Mafia, man. Shout out to you.
Yeah,
and man, you know what? I'm rooting
congratulations.
for the Bills. I want them to win their first Super Bowl after that catastrophic 90s. That was kind of painful to watch, even though I wasn't born yet.
I don't.
I wouldn't be mad if they won it.
I wouldn't be mad either.
I don't want to see them win because I want them to say that Josh Allen's never going to win a Super Bowl if he doesn't.
They're never going to say that. Like, it's not about Josh Allen, right? Like, they're always going to pit somebody against Lamar Jackson. If Josh Allen loses next week, they'll just stop talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen could go out there next week and throw 3 interceptions, and they won't say anything about it, right? The media is a Lamar Jackson market, right? Like, they just want to talk about Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen was just a guy they pit against him this year. Next year, it'll probably be Joe Burrow, right? Like, it's always going to be somebody against Lamar Jackson. It has nothing to do with Josh Allen. I'm cool with Josh Allen. I'm cool with the Bills, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's funny too. Isn't Joe Burrow does he only have like one win against Lamar Jackson?
Who?
So like
Josh Allen?
No. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he's like 1-7 or something like that.
1-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I know Josh Allen's beaten Lamar multiple times in the playoffs, which I think is like 2,
Twice.
I guess. I think it's twice.
Yeah.
So 2, 1, but in the playoffs are more than 1 in the regular season. So
Yeah.
I like Joe. I'm a big fan of Joe, but it's Joe, I guess.
Yeah, but this whole storyline, like, people act like the quarterbacks are winning these games by themselves, and it's just ridiculous to me. Like,
This is a narrative, yeah.
It takes a team to win. You know, Tom Brady, I'm not gonna say he was trash, but his first 3 Super Bowls, he wasn't the best quarterback in the league. He wasn't nearly the best player in the league. But he played well in the best moments.
You know.
All right, yeah, we can say he cheated. He deflated the balls, and
No, not that. I'm talking about Spygate.
Oh, you talking about Spygate, Tuck Rule, and all that?
Where they were investigated for cheating and found to have been cheating and punished for cheating.
Yeah, but he wasn't the best in the league. But it's like, it's like the quarterback gets all the credit for winning, and then he gets all the blame for losing. Of course, they're the highest paid player. They have the most impact on the game. I get that, but it's a team game. You need an entire team to win a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was not great last season. He did not do a whole lot, but he stepped up in the big moments. He did what he had to do. But
he played bad in the Super Bowl. People forget that.
But people act like he carried them to the championship, and I just feel like the storyline is ridiculous with that.
Yeah, because last year in the Super Bowl, the game changed when Dre Greenlaw blew out his Achilles. Game changed right there because Chiefs were bad in the first half. Niners were slightly better. Shout out to Juwan Jennings, by the way, who would have probably won Super Bowl MVP, the wildest one outside of Malcolm Smith that one year. But yeah, when Dre Greenlaw blew out his Achilles, it was over. It was over. And the Chiefs got back in the game because, Travis Kelce on Ornell Burks, like, why'd you just give him a touchdown right there? Because, Dre Greenlaw, he was also like their emotional center. When you take out the emotional center, the Niners just kind of deflated. So yeah.
So we're gonna get a lot of takes like this. We're about to hit 2 hours, so we're gonna wrap up soon. But Sean, we're gonna get a lot of stuff like this. Lamar might be a new Charles Barkley, one of the best to ever do it, but may never win a chip. Still a lot of football left in his career, right? We gotta wait and see. But this is exactly why we have to get Harbaugh up out of here and Eric DeCosta. How many more times are we going to get this far and the same things happening, right? Like B said, we're not getting rid of Lamar. He's staying. And when we signed him, that's exactly the time when Harbaugh should have left, right? Eric DeCosta too, to be honest, right? Because no changes are going to be made at the quarterback position. You have to see if you can get another coach in there to do something different. This thing says it's going to end in 5 seconds, the broadcast.
By the way, Kim, that's what we were saying. Kim, we agree with you. I feel like Kim's always yelling at us.
All right, we're still going. All right, that was weird. That's probably our wrap it up sign there, saying, "Hey, wrap this up, B."
Hey man, speak on Ray Lewis being your guys' next coach.
Yes. No.
Hey, Reed and Dion, they're going to coach the team next, man. You know.
There's your answer, MRIG.
But that's the thing. Like, it's not. You can't say he's the next Charles Barkley because it's not basketball. One player has a much bigger impact on their team's fate in basketball than they do in football. Like, but that is why we say we got to get rid of John Harbaugh, got to get rid of EDC because Pat Mahomes doesn't have 3 Super Bowls if he lands somewhere other than Kansas City. Right, like he's still a great player. He's still Pat Mahomes, but you haven't won 3 Super Bowls without that structure around you. And for better or worse, John Harbaugh is going to do it the way that John Harbaugh wants to do it because he won 12 years ago, and you can't tell him nothing, no matter how many times they lose the exact same way. So,
and you're blocked, G-Man Cool 6. You're trolling the wrong person. B is not even a Ravens fan.
Yeah,
and he doesn't even know what he's trolling about. That's the thing.
Because I think he called him stupid. He's very upset.
Well, don't be.
No. I mean, he was trolling before that about not like he doesn't even understand what he's saying.
Yeah,
he's just talking.
What's going on, John? Thank you so much for the super chat. So can we hit the super chat goal? Do we need these games planned by astrology? Also, I heard the Ravens are an option team. Was I misinformed?
You were.
We're not gonna hit the goal. We're actually about to end the stream here soon, but I appreciate that super chat. Appreciate everybody that dropped the super chat, dropped the donation. Really appreciate that. We should have run an option tonight. We should have had that same game plan that we had last week. But this is what Harbaugh. I can't put it on Monken because this is always this every year. We always get cute when we don't need to. You had the ball right there at the goal line. Why the hell aren't you running the ball?
Why are you not running an option where you have Lamar either running it or handing it to Derrick Henry? That's what puts the defense in a quandary because how do you stop either one of those guys? For one, you got to guess right. And even if you do guess right, Lamar is athletic enough and fast enough to go around you. Derrick is fast enough and strong enough to go through you. But, of course, we always get away from what we do best because we have a choker of a head coach. And in the big moments, he's going to divert from what we should be doing and try to get cute, try to get fancy, try to outsmart the other team, and it never works.
Yes, MRIG, D'Amico can coach. We don't know if Ray Lewis can coach or not. He has not been a coach. But just having been a great player does not mean that you can coach.
Yeah, because
and we don't want to experiment with a first-time head coach. Right,
a first-time coach. Period.
A first-time coach. Yes.
Like Mike Singletary was a great linebacker too. He couldn't coach.
He found that out real quick when he went to the Ravens linebacker room, and Darius Thomas basically called him an idiot.
Well, I would bring Ray in as a consultant or potentially even a linebackers coach, but head coach, no, he doesn't have any experience, and I feel like if he wants to coach, he should come up through the ranks like everybody else. He shouldn't just skip the line because he's the greatest of all time at the position. You got to prove that you can coach.
I mean, D'Amico had to become a defensive quality control coach for 1 year.
Yes,
and he was their linebacker coach for 2 years. Then he got promoted to defensive coordinator for 2 years. Then he got the job in Kansas City. You're a great player. You probably could, you can become an assistant real quick. But do you then have to then coach? Because I believe Antonio Cromartie is the DB coach at Texas A&M. And then, he's coaching, but I wouldn't hire Antonio Cromartie to run my defense.
No. She wants to know how many fans have come in to tell us that they're unsubscribing for our hate towards Harbaugh. It's happened. It's happened. We don't care.
Or
In
they
fact,
never subscribed anyway.
In fact, if you tell us that, we'll make sure that you never ever subscribe because we'll block you. Alan's still here. What's going on? Alan says if Ray wanted to coach, I think he'd be coaching by now. He is coaching. Isn't he coaching in college?
No.
He didn't get a college job?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think Ray's coaching right now.
No.
I could be misinformed, but I don't think so. But I'd love to see him come back to the franchise in some capacity.
Deshaun, I don't think the Ravens need to be the third team to get fooled by Isaiah Simmons. I don't think they need to go down that route. They've got Ardarius playing next to Kyle Hamilton. That's fine.
Oh, it says head coach candidate. So he interviewed for a head coaching job.
Yeah, no, because a lot of these players now they're trying to become head coaches at HBCUs.
Florida Atlantic was what he was trying. He was trying to be Florida Atlantic.
Yeah,
head coach.
Because I know Deshaun Jackson's now at Delaware State. The Shady McCoy wants to be a coach at HBCU. If someone hires Shady McCoy to run their football program, I have to really question people's decision-making skills.
Your Eagles hated Sean right now, sir. Definitely.
I don't care. Give a shit. I
don't. Mike Vick just got a head coaching job.
Oh, yeah, at Norfolk State. That's true. Yeah, he's at Norfolk State. We'll see if that works. That may be a great failure. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ed Reed got fired before he got hired at Bethune-Cookman. So there's that.
Yeah.
It's the whole Deion Sanders thing. I think it's a copycat world. They saw Deion's success at Jackson State and then at Colorado.
But
and a lot of people are
Adrian.
trying to hire great NFL players to coach at the collegiate level, see if they can do it. You know.
No, but here's the thing. People, the one thing people don't really talk about Deion Sanders is he coached high school football in Texas for about 4 years as he was doing his NFL Network job. That's the one thing people don't really talk about. That he was already a coach beforehand. When he was at Trinity Christian in Dallas, he was coaching his two sons there, and he was their defensive coordinator, and then he became their offensive coordinator. He did both sides of the ball. Then he got the Jackson State gig. The guys following him, they're just becoming head coaches at the collegiate level without experience. At least Deion, you can hate on him as much as you want. I know one person on this panel despises his guts.
I
wasn't pointing out it was you, B. I don't know why you outed yourself.
I'm just saying, like we talk about, oh wow, he went to coach his sons in high school, but we don't talk about the scam that was Prime U, right?
Yeah, no, well, it's Prime Prep Academy.
I'm sorry, my bad. Bad.
All right, that's.
I don't care what he called the scam.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, the thing I'm making is he did it. He kind of did it the right coaching way.
Yeah, we got over 2 hours. We let it go over 2 hours because this is the last post-game show of the season for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, it's over. All right, congratulations to the Bills. The Ravens, we have a lot of content. Subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of content. If you're a first-time viewer, I'm Jose. That's Brodny. Okay. B's a Panthers fan. I'm a Ravens fan, so we do a lot of Ravens and Panthers content. Ferris is from the Let's Get Ready Network.
Content.
Huh?
I'll do Panthers content.
Yeah,
we do Panthers.
We just
interesting.
Yeah. Ferris got his own channel. Adrian, he's got his own channels. Adrian's got some things going on. They're going to tell you. But let me get through this. Let me hold on. Let me meet you guys. They're gonna tell you about their stuff in a second, but make sure you subscribe. We're gonna put out a lot of off-season stuff coming up here soon. What the Ravens should be looking at. We're going to really campaign for Harbaugh to be fired. Yep, we're that channel. Okay, EDC can go too. It's time for a change. So be on the lookout for that. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk Ravens, Panthers, NFL. Not a lot of NBA recently, but we'll probably start ramping up a little NBA talk. And we do a little combat sports from time to time. But just we have a good time over here. Subscribe. And if you're really digging the content, consider being a Patreon member. Patreon.com/LBHTShow is where you can find us. We do an overtime show after the main show where we talk about all kinds of things. We talked about Drake. What was it, last week? We had some serious talk too. I think we talked a little bit about the Israeli Palestine conflict or massacre, and all
real?
kinds of stuff. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of things over there. Okay, it's pretty much anything that you want to talk about or things that I just find interesting, and we'll discuss that. That's on the Overtime Show. We also have a Discord channel. Look, sign up for as little as $5 a month, and then once you pay that $5 the first time, you're in this Discord for good, unless you get yourself kicked out. All right, and we have some other perks there, but check it out, LBHT Show or Patreon.com/LBHT Show. What's up, B?
None.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. All right, Ferris, let the people know where they can find you.
Guys, you can find me every Friday on Good Friends, Better Rivals on the Let's Get Ready Network Sports Channel, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. We talk NFC East, New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys. It was a very horrible year, so it was a lot of yelling, a lot of crying, a lot of sadness, especially from me. Caleb had some happy moments here and there, but it's whatever. We're also increasing. If you guys like movies, trailer reactions, movie reviews on the LGRN Entertainment Channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. Join in and have some fun trying to grow that community. We're opening up our Discord to the public, as well as creating a new newsletter, a new way to connect with our community and build it out. The newsletter is probably going to go live in like a week. We're still figuring out the kinks. Shout out to Adelia. You can find us on Let's Get Ready Network on Twitter or X or Blue Sky, or whatever you are. That's where we at. And you can find me at Ferris on X, Twitter,
All
whatever.
right. Cool. Adrian, let the people know where they can find you. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, my bad. I like to let people talk. So you can hit me up on all social media at the Sunglass Kid. That's DASUNGLASSKID. I'd like to thank Brodny, Jose, Ferris, Hendo, everybody that's a part of Lunch Break, Hot Take. Disappointing into the season for the Ravens, but hopefully we come back stronger next year. Press Start 410, that is my brand. I am going to be starting a YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about video games. I'm going to be talking about sports. I'm going to be talking about pro wrestling, trying to, merge those worlds together and see where that takes me. But, thank you guys for the opportunity to come on here. Talk sports is something that I love to do.
You watch Raw on Netflix, Adrian?
We're going to talk about that after we get off the stream.
Yes, okay. Yes. We're going to talk about that later first.
Okay. Man, what's the point, man? Let's just keep going. Man.
That's it for us.
Why would we keep going?
Also, LBHTShow.com. That is our website. Go check it out. We also have a newsletter coming, but we're not going to tell you when. Just sign up. All right, sign up. The newsletter will show up one day. All right, it costs you nothing. Sign up.
Thank you, MRIG.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, Alan needs to be on your show, Adrian. The two you guys.
That wrestling.
Yes.
We talking wrestling.
Yeah. Isaac, you came way too late to talk about this, and Isaac is a perfect example of the person that's saying, "Hey, defense didn't do anything wrong," and then be the first person when it comes draft time saying that we need to draft defense because we don't have edge rushers, we don't have corners, right? We got Brandon Stevens sucks. We got to replace Marlowe.
Isaac, just real quick, they scored 3 touchdowns in the first half. One of them was off a turnover. The other 2 weren't. So no, they didn't play well in the first half. They played very well in the second half.
Yeah, because y'all keep trying to suggest Lamar for the full game, but the defense doesn't get the full game. So what are we doing? Because we can't. Because it doesn't matter, man. Let's get out of here, man.
All right, Ferris is ready to go. B, are you ready?
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's a little wrestling.
I just don't even understand.
Little wrestling.
Sometimes the things that happen on the show.
Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Check us out, LBHTShow.com and Patreon.com/LBHTShow. We are out of here. Have a great night. For those of you that are off tomorrow, enjoy your day off. All right. Observe the day, MLK Day, not the other thing that's going on. Observe MLK Day, all right, and try not to be too stressed out. It's just a game at the end of the day. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, all right. Enjoy the rest of football. Enjoy the off season. Enjoy life, all right. Have a great night.
I want to keep it going now because the Road Warriors are not the best tag team of all time. But whatever.
Oh, who is it? Who is it?
No.
It's Harlem Heat. It's Harlem Heat.
Have a great night. We'll see you on Wednesday.
You know what it is.
We'll see you on Wednesday.
Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you.
Peace.
You know what I was going to